Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Pirates. Taking advantage of the Empress, youth, she tricked her into singing about conquest. Chapter 1. On the endless ocean. The ship at sea is traveling alone on the calm sea, and the breeze is blowing it in a distant direction. A black pirate flag was hung on the ship, with a ferocious skull printed on it, with crossed swords in front of the skull. Obviously, this is a pirate ship. This pirate ship is quite large in size and can accommodate about 100 people. Even if all the crew members gather on the deck, they will not feel crowded. The banquet on the ship is in progress, and the whole atmosphere is very cheerful. We plundered 3 islands during this attack and obtained treasure worth 200 million belly. Currently, our Bloody Hand pirates have become the most notorious pirate group in South Blue. A pirate was holding a stick and a wine glass, eating and drinking. Ha 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 ha, so happy. Yes, we are fearsome pirates, oh ha ha. We will conquer the entire South Blue, and then march into the New World. Let the New World know the reputation of our Bloody Hand pirates. The pirates are very optimistic about their future, because they started from the sea, burned, killed and looted all the way, and made great progress all the way. Everything went smoothly, and it seemed that they were really invincible. Our captain's bounty has reached 80 million baileys. Yo-ho, Captain is mighty, the pirate shouted loudly. It's really amazing. Our captain is indeed our leader. He was able to get a total reward of 80 million in 1 year at sea. I admire him. The little pirate sighed. 80 million baileys. In South Blue, this bounty seems to be the highest. The captain is mighty, we are real pirates, feared pirates. Gia Gia Gia. A series of echoing voices continued to sound. A tall man wearing a cloak stood up. As soon as he spoke, everyone fell silent. Guys, although we have achieved some results, we must remember that this is just South Blue. Our goal is to explore the New World and open up the Great Route. South Blue is just the beginning for us. Oh, the captain is right. We are great pirates and we are going to expand the Great Sea Route. What's so great about Shichibukai? The 4 emperors will also fall under the captain's might. Some pirates were shouting excitedly. This scene may be the normal state of the new pirates who don't know the heights of the world. There was a lot of noise on the deck, but when the captain stretched out his hand, it immediately became quiet. The pirates all looked at their captain with reverence. Their captain is not an easy guy to get along with, and his ruthless image has long been ingrained in their hearts. When they were besieged by Marine before, it was this captain who jumped on a Marine warship, picked up the mace in his hand and beat a major officer to death. This kind of strength, in the eyes of a group of pirates, can be described as the strength of heaven and man. They all marveled at this powerful and unreachable strength. The world of pirates is like this. The weak eat the strong and the strong are respected. To show the captain's personal charm and become a captain, you need to have strong personal strength to support it. Pirates usually surrender to more powerful pirates and form pirate groups that yearn for the New World. This is an era of great pirates, a 1,000 sails race. At this time the captain seemed to have something to say. However, before he could speak, a black shadow suddenly fell rapidly from the sky. At this time, no one could react. A loud crash was heard. Bang! A large hole was smashed into the wooden deck. The sea breeze is still blowing. Lin Yu fell from the sky and fell miserably. Before he could figure out the situation, he heard a voice. Ding! You defeated Giloken. Strength plus 1-2, agility plus 1-0, endurance plus 1-1, constitution plus 13 inches. What is this? What the hell? Lin Yu was already beaten to pieces, but this sudden sound confused him. He used to be an underground boxer and made a living by making money from black boxing. He remembered that he met a heavyweight player in the boxing ring. When the opponent punched him in the face, he felt that his whole body was knocked away. Then, I don't know how long the flight took, but it was quite a long flight anyway. Until now, I fell down when I got here. Lin Yu subconsciously asked after hearing a voice in his head. What is this? What is added to what? Who is Hilo Kaan? Isn't my opponent Li Fei? Host, this is a quantitative attribute system. Quantitative attribute system. Yes, host. Lin Yu usually reads some novels about system flow. Of course, he also understands the meaning of this sentence. It means that you get a system and you are the host of this system. It's just that he doesn't know what the quantitative attribute system is used for. He is not sure whether he can really usher in good luck and reach the peak of his life through a systematic way. What is your role? System. Every time the host defeats an enemy, the system can quantitatively add the enemy's attributes to the host. Attributes include strength, agility, endurance and physical fitness. Lin Yu was very surprised. This system was a bit heaven-defying. It was a proper upgrade to defeat monsters. System, what are my current attributes? As soon as he finished speaking, a curtain of light appeared in front of Lin Yu. Host, Lin Yu. Strength LV1 4 plus 1 2. Agility LV1 5 plus 1 0. Endurance LV1 3 plus 1 1. Physique LV1 4 plus 1 3. Fighting skill LV1 14%. Lin Yu was very lucky. He fell directly from the air and killed the strongest captain on the pirate ship, thus greatly improving his physical attributes. Fighting skills. Lin Yugong was still puzzled, and the system answered his doubts. Fighting is a skill that host already possesses. It is not obtained by defeating Ziryoken. Only then did Lin Yu realize that he was once a boxer. Basic fighting skills such as fighting skills are possessed by every boxer, and he was no exception. Sunlight penetrates through the gaps between the decks, and the sea breeze carries a salty smell. Lin Yu couldn't take his eyes off this incredibly blue sky. He was confident that this was not an underground arena, and it was absolutely correct. But, if this isn't the arena, where else could it be? Only then did he feel the softness under his body. Lin Yu shook his body and reached out to touch it. This person is riding the horse. He was shocked and stood up suddenly, looking up at the big hole above his head. He could still clearly hear the sound of waves crashing, and his pupils shrank slightly. Where is this? Nemas, what the hell is this? The scene became quiet for a while, and all the pirates were shocked by this sudden scene. Some of them kept their original postures, while some opened their mouths wide. What is it? A meteorite? Is it a cannonball? Could it be that the captain did something and, got retribution? We are big pirates, how can we be punished? By the way, where is the captain? Captain, are you okay, Captain? When the pirates reacted, they remembered that the one who had been hit was their captain. They tightened their grip on the knives, forks, swords and halberds in their hands and surrounded the cave. At this time, a hand suddenly stretched out from the cave entrance. I'm sorry. Ouch, fool, you poked me. When the pirates saw it, they were like frightened rabbits and retreated in panic. You pushed me and squeezed, and the scene was a bit chaotic. After a while, they saw a black-haired boy crawling out, about 17 or 18 years old. He has bright black eyes, a resolute face, sharp edges, and is handsome. The upper body is shirtless, only wearing a pair of shorts, and there are bandages on the ankles, and no shoes. The bandages are also wrapped on the forearms to the wrists on both hands. There are also tendons of different sizes and unusually well-proportioned muscles on the body. Just take a look. I know he is a great fighting master. Lin Yu climbed out of the hole and stood up slowly. Is this a ship? How can this be a ship? Lin Yu turned his head and looked into the distance. The blue sky and white clouds, reflecting the blue sea water, the sky and the water are the same color, it should be like this. The breeze carrying the smell of seawater blows slowly, just like a sunny day on a summer resort island. But all this shows that Lin Yu's situation does not seem to be good at this time. He was still boxing in the ring. How could he come from a small corner in the northwest? It's almost like a desert. No matter how bad it is, it's still Uncle Tang's prairie. Why is it suddenly the sea? Sighing, Lin Yu withdrew his gaze and turned to the group of pirates around him. The pirates have different costumes, and the weapons in their hands are also colorful 8-gates, with knives, forks, swords and halberds, and some even hold firecrackers. The body shapes are also different, ranging from 1.5 to 3 meters. Some look like dwarfs, some look like giants, and some look like a pig. The whole body is as big as a small truck. What a bunch of weirdos. Lin Yu slowly raised his head and looked at the sail. Or a sailboat. It's a weirdo, it's a sailing ship, and it seems to be a pirate ship. Lin Yu was confused. He was sure that this was definitely not his previous world. After the pirates saw Lin Yu crawl out, they were as confused as Lin Yu. They looked at each other. You looked at me, I looked at you, and they looked at each other. Where is our great captain? The pirate next to him didn't answer him, but just gave him a look, as if to say, "Kid, do you have a lot of question marks?" "Yes, I also have a lot of question marks." Could it be that he was crushed to death by this guy? At this time, a little pirate interrupted. All the pirates were stunned, it was so ridiculous. They have been pirates for only a year, and they were holding a celebration party just now. They had great ambitions, full of passion, and vowed to enter the new world. Especially the captain, how lonely it is to not be able to sing about being invincible. He just finished drawing the cake and he suddenly fell flat. Got hit by this guy who fell from the sky to meet Amaterasu god tier. Are you still being unreasonable? Who are you, boy? Who are you? While Lin Yu was speaking, a voice also sounded among the pirates. Everyone was stunned for a moment, then saw a blonde pirate carrying a ring-headed sword step forward and said, "Who are you? Where is our captain? Where are you?" "What, captain?" Lin Yu looked down at the hole and saw the unlucky guy called the captain. At this time, his whole head was smashed into his chest. His hands and feet were spread out, but he couldn't move them into a big word. "Ah, this, can I tell you, is your boat unlucky?" All the pirates were twitching and their faces were ashen. "Look, are you speaking human language? We are having a celebration banquet. The captain is in high spirits and proudly says that he will lead us into the new world. It would be better for you to drop it from the sky at this time, without bringing any congratulatory gifts, but just say that our ship is unlucky." "What's wrong? You don't believe it?" Lin Yu saw that the pirates were silent and said quietly, "If you don't believe me, come and take a look. Your captain must have lost his temper." The face of the leading blonde pirate changed drastically. "Impossible, what a joke, our captain is such a person, he just said he would lead us to the grand route, led us to find the great secret treasure, and become one piece. How could he die like this?" Lin Yu's expression froze. "What, the grand line? Big secret treasure, one piece, let me go. Isn't this the pirate world? Have I traveled through time?" Lin Yu also likes the masterpiece One Piece very much and has a deep understanding of the world of One Piece. The captain was the strong man they admired the most and was the one they believed in. If he died like this, the pirates would all fall into sadness. Lin Yu poked the captain under the hole with a long pole. After making sure that his head could no longer stick out, he turned to comfort the sad pirates. "Don't worry, you are really dead this time. Please forgive me. After all, your ship is really unlucky." "Shut up." At this time, a pirate stood up and said angrily, "Vice Captain, kill this guy, we will avenge the captain." "Yes, revenge for the captain. The captain died so unjustly. He was actually beaten to death by this guy. We must kill this guy." With the echoes, Lin Yu probably knew that this blonde sword pirate was the deputy captain. The vice captain looked ferocious and roared, "Boy, since you killed our captain, you should die and be buried with our captain." Buried with someone? Lin Yu frowned. A person like him who was engaged in underground black boxing was not a good man, and his life was not that easy to take. Although he killed the captain of the pirates, he was at fault first. It was purely an accident and he came to this world inexplicably. But he doesn't have the consciousness yet to want him to pay for it with his life. Seeing the blonde vice captain rushing towards him, Lin Yu didn't feel scared, he only felt the blood boiling all over his body. He makes a living from boxing, so this kind of thing is commonplace for him. "Just in time, let me see how powerful you are in this world." If he had just come to the world of One Piece, with the physical fitness of pirates in this world, he would never dare to be so confident. But as luck would have it, he had a system and killed the strongest captain as soon as he arrived, seizing his attributes and making them his own. Lin Yu only felt that his whole body was full of strength, but on the surface he was extremely calm, waiting for the other party to rush forward. The blonde vice captain rushed to Lin Yu and struck Lin Yu with a sharp knife. Lin Yu did not retreat at all. Instead, he leaned forward and pressed against the deputy captain's chest. His right elbow directly touched the deputy captain's chest. Jam! Only a clear sound of broken bones was heard. The sternum of the blonde vice captain was instantly shattered by Lin Yu, and he flew backwards with blood spraying from his mouth until he hit the ship's pole and fell back to the deck. Lin Yu was stunned for a moment. He was also shocked by the power of his blow. Although the system absorbed the attributes of the captain who was killed by him before, the captain was not weak. He knew that he should be a lot stronger, but he didn't expect that he was already stronger than he knew. Ding! You defeated Droke. Strength +8, Agility +1, Endurance +7, Constitution +7. This time, Lin Yu heard it clearly. The system really existed, and the previous absorption properties were not an accident. In the past, his strength was not small, but it was absolutely impossible to crush someone's sternum with a single elbow strike, or even knock someone away. This is power, absolute strength suppression. He clenched his fists, feeling a stronger force than before, a stronger body than before, and a strong fighting spirit arose in his heart. He was already good at close combat, and he enjoyed this kind of physical combat. Now the system has strengthened his physical attributes, which makes him even more powerful. When he first learned that he had traveled to the world of One Piece, he was a little panicked. In his mind, no matter how strong he was in his previous life and how powerful his fighting skills were, the world of One Piece is full of weirdos, and everyone has special skills, which he, an ordinary person, cannot fight against. Even for mortals in this world, one look at those 3-meter-tall men can make people despair. But at this moment, he didn't feel any panic or restraint at all. Some are just wild and uninhibited in the heart, and a passion in the chest, like a wild horse running wild, or it is more appropriate to say that it is like a dragon entering the sea. Ha ha ha! Lin Yu laughed loudly, roared and rushed into the crowd, running rampant among the pirates, causing everyone to fall over and everything he passed was a mess. In less than 5 minutes, none of the pirates on the deck could stand, and they were all lying on the floor. A group of people were rolling and wailing on the deck. Cool, ha ha ha, so happy. Lin Yu has never played so well. This is the confidence brought by absolute strength. Ding, you defeated. Strength +2, Agility +2, Endurance +1.5, Constitution +2. Ding, you defeated. Strength +1.6, Agility +1.9, Endurance +1.9, Constitution +1.8. From the moment Lin Yu knocked over the pirate, the system notifications in his mind never stopped. This series of notifications came one after another. It wasn't until the system prompts quieted down that Lin Yu opened the Properties panel. Host, Lin Yu. Strength LV1 131.2. Agility LV1 133.5. Endurance LV1 134.3. Physique LV1 133.3. Fighting skill LV1 14%. His attributes increased greatly, and Lin Yu felt that his whole body was full of strength. He felt that his previous self was weaker than before. He also discovered a problem. Except for the captain who was killed at the beginning and the golden retriever vice captain, the other pirate minions were all between 1 and 2. Only a few of them were 2 or 3 meters tall and reached 2. Even if it's only a few tenths more than that. Just when I was confused, the system's voice rang. Host, all attribute values are based on 1, and 1 represents the standard attributes of an ordinary adult man. So that's it. Lin Yu suddenly realized that if 1 represents the standard attribute of an adult man, then his attribute is above 131. Lin Yu felt the exploding power in his body and took a step forward. Bang! Click! The deck under his feet was directly smashed into pieces by his kick. Lin Yu frowned. The attributes of his body had increased, but judging from the current situation, it seemed that he was not yet familiar with controlling this skyrocketing power. According to his attributes, strength, agility and endurance, he roughly knows what it represents. What does the system's constitution represent? Host, physique is the foundation of all attributes, the comprehensive expression of the strength and toughness of muscles and bones, as well as the comprehensive capabilities of various parts of the body. Physique is the container for accepting new attributes, but the most direct expression is the ability to resist blows. So that's it. Lin Yu nodded. From this point of view, this physique is particularly important. Looking around at the pirates who were still wailing on the deck, he didn't kill them all. He is not a murderous maniac. He originally lived in modern society, but now he suddenly traveled to the world of pirates. He is not a psychopath. And he also noticed that there was an endless sea around here. He had no direction, and he couldn't even operate this huge sailboat. If he killed everyone, he would have to wait alone on the boat to see when someone passed by. Lin Yu walked to a pirate next to him. The pirate was still lying on the ground wailing in pain. When he saw Lin Yu coming over, he immediately endured the pain and knelt down. Sir, have mercy on me, please have mercy on me, little one. I don't want to die, please don't kill me. The pirate's tears were streaming down his face, and he was filled with runny nose and tears. Lin Yu was stunned and frowned. Okay, get up, Lin Yu said coldly. Although he doesn't intend to kill these pirates, he is not a good person either. For pirates, in fact, just like the villains he had come into contact with before, they were not good at all. If you want to control these people, it is not enough to have benefits. The most important thing is to make them fear you from the bottom of their hearts. Therefore, Lin Yu didn't have a good look on these pirates, and his tone was particularly unkind. Not to mention, at this time Lin Yu himself felt that he had the potential to lead these wolves, tigers and leopards. When the pirate heard this, he didn't dare to resist, and he struggled to stand up. Holding his stomach, he stood next to Lin Yu and shivered, as if Lin Yu was a demon who eats people without spitting out their bones. What time is it now? Lin Yu asked softly. My lord, now is the year 1521 of the Hai Yuan calendar. Sir, it's August. Lin Yu glanced at him, and the pirate was immediately frightened, and immediately added. Haiyan calendar, August 1521. Lin Yu nodded and thought secretly. It seems that Luffy went to sea in the year 1520 of the Haiyan calendar, which has already been a year. Tell me, who are you? We are the Blood Hand Pirates. It was more than a year ago that Captain Hilo Kain led us to sea. Joryoken, Lin Yu thought for a while, and it seemed that he had never seen this person in One Piece, and he was probably just a small character. Then how much is his reward? Captain Gilla's bounty is 80 million belly. Oh, 80 million. Lin Yu mused, the bounty of 80 million Baileys is already a lot, and he should be pretty strong. Why hasn't he heard of it? He was confused at first, but as the pirate explained their experiences one by one, he also understood why Hilo Kain had such a high bounty. This Hilo Kain is a scumbag, a complete scumbag, the kind that makes people and gods angry. He went out to sea and captured several islands, not just for wealth. After capturing it, they humiliated the young women and then massacred the island. They were simply beasts with no humanity. He has countless names of people under his command, which is why he is not necessarily very strong, but he is rewarded with such a high bounty. There are many masters in this world, but existences like Hilo Kain are at the bottom at best. Although he has now absorbed the attributes of all members of this pirate group, and his physical strength and own attributes are very amazing, he is still far behind when compared with those truly strong men. This One Piece world is not just about physical strength, there are also devil fruits and haki. When Lin Yu thought about it, he didn't feel any fear in his heart, but became faintly excited. This is the world where I should exist. This is the world in my dreams. Since I'm not strong enough now, I'll find a strong person to challenge me. With the quantitative attribute system, I will only get stronger as I fight, and the stronger will be stronger. Lin Yu raised his head, stared at the pirates in front of him, glanced around and said loudly. I announce that from now on, the Underworld Pirates are officially established, and this ship will be renamed the Underworld from now on. I'll give you two choices. Join or die. Although Lin Yu wanted to take them as his subordinates, he couldn't let them go if he didn't want to. He has offended these people. Although he does not take these rabble in his eyes, he does not have the habit of letting the tiger go back to the mountain. Now that he has offended, even if you are a fly, he will not let you live. As for how to choose, it's up to them. Either join or die. Was it difficult to make this choice? Perhaps for those ambitious people, this is a difficult thing, but for these little guys, it is easy. Captain, I join. My great captain. And me. A group of small fish and shrimps are vying to flatter me. Lin Yu didn't take it seriously. In his opinion, the purpose of recruiting this group of miscellaneous troops was to find a group of people to help steer the ship. He didn't expect this group of people to do anything big. From this point of view, Lin Yu is not a qualified leader of the pirate group, this is just the mentality of an adventurer. From now on, let's call it Huang Quan. He chose this name to remember his old days of boxing in underground boxing arenas, when his nickname was Huang Quan. Lin Yu lowered his head and glanced at his fist. This world is the world he really wants. He wants to use his fists to conquer this world and become the freest person in the world. Captain, do you want a different pirate flag? A pirate walked up to Lin Yu and asked in a low voice. This pirate flag is not the pirate flag of their Wonquan pirates, but the original pirate flag of the Bloody Hand pirates. Change it. Lin Yu glanced at this guy. He was thin, with a long and narrow face, and a mustache at the corners of his mouth. Unexpectedly, he had the courage to step forward and ask questions. What's your name? What's your responsibility on this ship? Captain, my name is Gross, and I am the maintenance foreman of this ship. Lin Yu nodded. Okay, I understand. I leave this matter to you. Your first task is to design the pirate flag. As you command. Great Captain. Gross happily accepted the task. Their era is also called the Age of Great Pirates. In this era, every man dreams of going out to sea and sailing, but not everyone has the ability to own a boat of his own. For example, there are many people like Gross. They have been protected by the strong and can only sail on the sea by following their ships. The Wonquan is also a pretty good pirate ship, with a total of 3 masts. However, in the previous battle, Lin Yu accidentally broke the first 2 masts. Suddenly, someone shouted, "There's a ship. That's a ship. Look. Marine. It's Marine." Upon hearing that it was Marine, all the pirates immediately became confused. Seeing this scene, Lin Yu shook his head. It's really a bunch of rabble. It's a T3 branch ship. They're coming. Did you see clearly? Is it really them? Oh no, 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 the mast is broken, there's no way to escape. A group of pirates wailed, as if they had seen the scene where they were imprisoned or hanged on a desert island. Lin Yu walked to the side of the ship and looked into the distance, only to see rough waves on the sea. A huge white sail has the Marine logo printed on it. Marine. Lin Yu looked at the familiar symbol, seeing it in reality for the first time, and raised the corners of his mouth slightly. The Marine badge of world government is a seagull holding a scale in its beak, which means maintaining world peace. This is the deterrent power of the world government and the symbol of Marine's powerful force. Lin Yu called Gross to his side and asked, "Do you know where this fleet came from? And who is their commander?" "This is a warship from the T3 branch of the South Blue Fleet. It has been tracking our pirate group for more than a month. The captain is a major named Rhodes." "Major." Lin Yu took a look at their ship. The mast was broken and it would not be repaired for a while. On the sea, a ship that has lost its sail is simply a living target. Lin Yu knew very well that asking him to explain to Marine that he was not a member of the Blood Hand Pirates was simply nonsense. People will only think that you are a greedy pirate and a weakling, instead of believing what you say. He has always believed that the truth is always in the fist. Whoever has a big fist and strong strength will be right. Since you can't escape, then get ready to fight. At this time, the deck of the Wonquan was already a mess. It was unrealistic to expect these newly recruited people to fight. At least Lin Yu would not let these people become a burden to him. Anyway, he was just using these people. The original Bloody Hand pirates were a bunch of extremely vicious people, and he had no psychological burden. "What's the fuss about?" At this moment, Lin Yu shouted loudly. The pirates were instantly quiet. "Do you want to be hanged and have your heads chopped off by Marine in exchange for a bounty, or are you prepared to fight to the death and fight your way out of the siege with me?" All the pirates looked at each other with a look of horror. They dare to be pirates on the sea, so naturally they are not good men and women. The reason why they were so panicked before was entirely because of the death of the previous captain. At this time, Lin Yu shouted loudly, waking everyone up immediately. Their old captain is dead, but now there is a new captain, who is stronger and more courageous. Fight hard, we have to fight our way out. Fight Marine. Ah, the pirates raised their weapons one after another. Okay, very good. Gross. Lin Yu nodded and looked at Gross beside him. "You are now the temporary commander-in-chief." Lin Yu pulled Gross over. Although he is a fan of One Piece, he knows nothing about the wars in this great pirate era, nor does he understand this group of newly recruited pirates. So, he simply pushed Gross out. "Right away. Now everyone is under your command. It's up to you to decide how to conduct the battle." Lin Yu couldn't help but said that at least Gross knew more about the ship than he did, and he didn't know anything about the situation when he came here. At this moment, a Marine warship rushed over. Boom. The orange-red explosive exploded. A solid cannonball flew out of the barrel, drew an arc in the air, and quickly approached. Marine artillery fire. Boom. There was a deafening loud noise. The cannonball landed on the water in front of the bow of the ship, exploded with a bang, and the water column flew high. At this time, there was another roar, and then another cannonball flew over the side of the ship, fell with a crash, and hit the sea behind the pirate ship. Hiss. This, doesn't it mean that we have entered the range of artillery fire? Gross said tremblingly. Ha ha ha. Well done. Lin Yu laughed unscrupulously. The sea was filled with smoke, as a man should be. Gross, why are you still standing there? Fight back. There are naturally artillery and other things on the pirate ship. But their artillery, both in quantity and quality, cannot be compared with the Marines. As a result, it is almost impossible for pirates to defeat Marine with weapons. After Lin Yu estimated the distance in his mind, he planned to jump onto the opposite warship. This is undoubtedly a very bold idea. Regardless of the number of people on the opponent's battleship, the opponent's combat effectiveness, and the strength of the opponent's commander, all of this has not yet been clarified. Lin Yu dares to think like this. In fact, he is already prepared for this. Sir, the Bloody Hand pirates seem to have broken a mast in the battle just now, and they can't escape. An ensign, facing a major wearing a justice uniform. The major was holding a huge sword and had no expression on his face. That's just right. If we can kill these villains who have lost their humanity, this month of pursuit will not be in vain. Send the order. Fire all the starboard guns together. Sink their ship for me. As you command. Major Rhodes walked up to his command podium, the cloak behind him rustling with the word, justice, written on it. This is what Rhodes thinks. Justice is his belief. Righteousness. This is the principle that Rhodes has been adhering to since graduating from Marine headquarters. No matter what the reason is, pirates cannot appear here. Destroy all pirates, this is Marine's justice. In the Marine, many people hold this idea, and this may be the reason why Akainu will become the Marine Fleet Admiral in the future. A stream of artillery fire formed a net of bullets and bombarded the pirate ship. Wood chips were flying, and a pirate ship was directly penetrated by a solid cannonball. An ordinary wooden ship was as vulnerable as paper under this cannon. Lin Yu frowned. It can't be delayed. If we drag it any longer, the ship will sink. After estimating the distance, it looked like it was almost there. His knees were slightly bent and he was ready to go. Then, bang, kick it out. The pirate ship suddenly sank slightly, sinking to a depth of more than 2 meters. Immediately afterwards, all the pirates and Marines saw a black figure and rushed towards the warship. Gross's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. The captain jumped off the ship alone. The warship was still hundreds of meters away from them. They had to jump over it. This is too reckless. On Marine's side, they only had time to see a black shadow flashing from the sky. Then I saw a man appearing on the mast of their warship. Countless guns were immediately pointed at Lin Yu. Calm down, don't be impulsive, be careful of getting angry. Lin Yu jumped off the mast with a calm expression and reminded him in a kind tone. He stood up and looked at the battleship in front of him. No matter in terms of appearance or scale, this warship is much better than the pirate ship. Major Rhodes stood up and stared at the young man who remained calm despite dozens of gunshots. There are more and more of these lawless guys. Major, this person doesn't seem to be from the Bloody Hand pirate ship. An intelligence officer came over and said to Rhodes. The captain of the Blood Hand pirate ship is named Blood Hand Man Tujiro Kain. His bounty is as high as 80 million. He once caused a massacre in Hild Town, and the same happened on Shields Island. His appearance is completely different from the one in front of me, and he is not on the Blood Hand pirates wanted list. Hearing this, Rhodes nodded and his eyes fell on Lin Yu. He was able to jump from a pirate ship more than 100 meters away to their warship. It showed that this person was not simple, and how could he be a nobody? Who are you? Rhodes took a step forward and asked. I am the captain of the South Blue T3 Branch Fleet, Major Rhodes. I have been ordered to hunt down the Blood Hand pirates. You are not a member of the Blood Hand pirates. Leave immediately and don't get in the way. Lin Yu looked around and said, I am the leader of the Wonquan pirates. Your ship. I want it. HMPH. What a loud tone. Hearing Lin Yu's answer, Rhodes was stunned for a moment, then snorted disdainfully, and then waved his hand suddenly. The soldiers immediately prepared to open fire and kill this guy who didn't know the heights and heights of the sky. Just as they were about to shoot, Lin Yu suddenly disappeared in front of them. Bang, bang, bang. Lin Yu, whose strength surged, with lightning speed, knocked down all the Marines surrounding him to the ground. With a strength of more than 130 points, if the passing mark for weightlifting for a normal adult is 100 kilograms, then Lin Yu can easily hit a strength of 10,000 kilograms. Even in a world like One Piece where monsters are everywhere, a person with such a physique is definitely the monster among monsters. Even if the number were doubled, it would not pose any threat to Lin Nuo. Ding! You defeated, strength +1, agility +1.5, endurance +1.8, constitution +0.9. Ding! You defeated, strength +1, agility +1.1, endurance +1.7, constitution +1.2. The system's notification tone kept echoing in Lin Yu's mind. When he knocked the last few soldiers to the ground, Lin Yu keenly noticed that the sound of the system disappeared. What's going on? Is there something wrong with the system? Lin Yu looked confused. Host, your strength has reached the upper limit of an ordinary physical body. You can choose to upgrade. After upgrading, the attributes you get from defeating ordinary people will be halved, but if you defeat elite soldiers and enemies above strength, you will get full attributes. The system actually deducts experience points. Lin Yu complained and chose to upgrade without hesitation. Without upgrading, there will be no attribute bonus. After upgrading, there will only be half of the attribute bonus, but it is better than nothing. His data at this time is: Host, Lin Yu, Strength LV2 11 200, Agility LV2 12 200, Endurance LV2 13 200, Physique LV2 10 200, Fighting Skill LV1 33%. All four-dimensional attributes have been upgraded to level 2, and his experience in fighting skills has also increased a lot. It seems that this fighting skill experience is really improved in battle. Rhodes looked at the Marine soldier lying on the ground in front of him, a trace of anger flashed in his eyes. Court death. The Marine soldiers got out of the way. Facing a monster like Lin Yu, only the generals in the Marine could defeat it. This is the world of One Piece, this is the era of great pirates. Those powerful beings possess powers that ordinary people cannot imagine. The ordinary people below can only look up to such a strong man. Rhodes raised the long sword in his hand high and rushed towards Lin Yu, slashing hard. Bring it on. A flash of light flashed in Lin Yu's eyes. This Rhodes is a major, and he is not weak. His body was ignited with a raging fighting spirit. He did not retreat, but rushed forward. Having experienced hundreds of battles, he knows exactly how to deal with them. The giant sword in Rhodes' hand is a full 150 centimeters long. In this kind of mid-range battle, as long as Lin Yu takes a step back, the opponent will grab the handle and gain the upper hand. Lin Yu rushed straight towards the enemy in front of him, which was the blind spot of the giant sword. He grabbed the sword in Rhodes' hand with his left hand, and at the same time, he kicked off his right leg suddenly and threw it towards Rhodes' waist. Boom! Rhodes was whipped away by Lin Yu in midair, and the giant sword in his hand was knocked out of the sea by Lin Yu. After just one face-to-face encounter, Rhodes lost the weapon in his hand. Major, Lord Rhodes, Captain, all the surrounding Marines shouted anxiously. Rhodes' body hit the deck hard, breaking the deck into pieces. Fortunately, Rhodes' defense was very strong. Although he was kicked, he did not suffer much damage. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and stood up again. Lord Rhodes, Major Rhodes, Sir Rhodes is indeed a major trained by this headquarters. He was just careless just now. Now he has realized it. That guy is dead. Captain, Captain. The Marine soldiers pinned their hopes on Rhodes. Rhodes covered his waist. Lin Yu's whip leg had hit him just now, which had caused him a lot of pain, and he still felt a faint pain. I was careless, I didn't dodge. Rhodes murmured to himself. He raised his head with a ferocious look on his face. Rhodes. You underestimate the enemy so much. Even if you try your best to fight a lion against a rabbit, you actually make such a mistake. You will be beaten if you make a mistake, and only the blood of pirates can atone for your shame. And at this moment, Rhodes slowly walked out. Lin Yu curled his lips and said, pretend to be a ghost and show off. Kick your feet and punch out with both fists. Iron. Rhodes shouted, and as soon as he finished speaking, his body stiffened suddenly, as hard as steel. Iron. It's iron. This is Major Rhodes' trump card. This is a move that only elite Marines can practice, making the body as hard as iron. HMPH, this kid is going to hit steel with his fist. I don't believe his fist can be harder than steel. The onlookers Marine soldiers exclaimed, they were all excited. Iron block, this is one of the moves in Marine 6 styles. Infuse power into the physical body, making it as hard as iron. Even ordinary bullets and weapons are difficult to penetrate. Iron. Hearing this, even Lin Yu was shocked. He knew that the 6 Marine styles were known as Superman's unique moves, and ordinary people couldn't learn them. And no one could learn them. And now, Rhodes has even learned this move, which shows how strong he is. HMPH. So what about the iron block? Even if you were the god, I would dig a hole for you to come out of. Lin Yu moved forward bravely. You know, his current physical strength is equivalent to that of 200 adults. This is a terrifying power that only giants can possess. He didn't believe that Rhodes, a small major, could withstand his full blow. If a major was that powerful, Marine would have dominated the world long ago, and the 4 emperors would have ceased to exist. Even if it's steel, I'm going to blow you up with one punch. Lin Nuo roared, and his right fist was ready to go. The iron block move also has a flaw, that is, the body cannot move during the execution. This also means that Rhodes is just a living target. Lin Nuo shouted loudly, and veins popped up in his arms. Boom. The next moment, his fist hit Rhodes' chest hard. Bang. Puff. Rhodes flew out upside down, and a mouthful of blood spurted out from his mouth. Iron block. This move, Marine 6th form, a Superman-like trick, was defeated by Lin Yu with absolute power. Having said that, it's not that Marine's 6th form is not strong. In the final analysis, it's due to the limitations of Rhodes' own strength, and he hasn't mastered this move yet. If Rob Lucci performs this move, even if Lin Yu's strength is several times stronger, he may not be able to break through his defense. However, Rhodes is not some Rob Lucci. If he had Lucci's strength, how could he be just a major? Furthermore, among his 6 moves, there is only one move with the iron block. Now that Lin Nuo has punched him away, the iron block will naturally lose its effect. You defeated Rhodes, strength plus 9.4, agility plus 9.3, endurance plus 99.9, constitution plus 102.5. After Lin Yu landed on the deck, a soft sound sounded in his mind. This Rhodes is the one who provides him with the most attributes among all the people he has defeated so far. A mere major has nearly 100 points of 4-dimensional attributes. This world is a world of superheroes. Rhodes is so powerful, and there is a lieutenant colonel and colonel above him. As for how strong the lieutenant generals and generals at the next level would be, he could no longer imagine. There are also Shichibukai, 4 emperors, etc., these are all strong men hiding in the dark. Lin Yu clenched his fists. With his current strength, he is simply not good enough in front of these powerful men. No matter how strong he is, he can't be a match for those with devil fruit abilities. Facing those with abilities, he must learn to be domineering. Otherwise, he would have no way to deal with these ability users. Lin Nuo clenched his fists and looked around. Marine's courage is much greater than the group of pirates he recruited. Even though their commander has fallen, these Marines keep moving forward. Lin Yu will naturally not show mercy. Although the attributes obtained by defeating them will be halved, the base number is large. These soldiers have his attribute values. Without hesitation, he rushed forward and knocked all the Marine soldiers to the ground. There were more than 300 people, but they only brought an average improvement of more than 130 points to Lin Yu's 4-dimensional attributes. After knocking down all these Marine soldiers, Lin Yu clicked on his attribute panel. Host, Lin Yu. Strength LV2, 499.4. Agility LV2, 481.1. Endurance LV2, 493. Physique LV2, 496.2. Fighting skill LV1, 33%. The strength has been doubled. After this incident is over, he still needs to get used to his own strength. It is not good to increase your strength too much all at once. Power that cannot be controlled cannot be called your own strength. Only the power that you can truly control as you wish is truly yours. Lin Yu single-handedly defeated a marine fleet. This scene left the pirates present dumbfounded and full of awe towards their new captain. A captain of a pirate group does not want everyone in the entire pirate group to like him, but he wants everyone to be in awe of him. The pirates rowed the boat to the marine battleship, climbed onto the marine battleship, and saw marine soldiers lying on the ground. Most of the soldiers were still alive, and Lin Yu had no intention of killing them all. "Captain, how about we?" Gross came closer and made a gesture on his neck. Lin Yu shook his head and said, "I still need them." Lin Yu plans to let these people go. If he kills all these Marines, then no one will know about the South Blue battle, let alone Lin Yu's reputation. Does he, Lin Yu, care about these reputations? Of course he doesn't. But he cares about the effect of this reputation. As a result, more Marines will come to hunt him down, and maybe even pirate hunters will come. These are all powerful men far beyond ordinary people. In Lin Yu's eyes, they are all his attributes. Defeat them all and absorb their attributes. This is the most convenient way for Lin Yu to increase his strength by leaps and bounds. Let him find someone to beat him. It will be faster and more convenient for someone to come to you. What about this warship? Gross asked. Lin Nuo waved his hand. This ship belongs to us. Gross hesitated. What's the problem? Captain, rob the marine battleship. This is a big deal. They will definitely send a stronger fleet to hunt us down. Ha ha ha. Lin Yu patted Gross on the shoulder, smiled, and walked towards Rhodes. Marine, I'm looking forward to them. They are all good people. Of course, this good person is a good person who gives away attributes. At this time Rhodes was tied to a board. Major Rhodes can be said to be the strongest person Lin Yu has encountered since entering the world of One Piece. However, Lin Nuo knew very well that in the world of One Piece, Rhodes' strength was just a little stronger than some minions. This is the level of the elite marine soldiers who besieged Whitebeard during the war. People like Rhodes, in that battle where there are so many powerful people, can only serve as a small soldier at most. There are countless strong people in this world. Devil Fruit User. Physical Master. Master of Swordsmanship. What's even more exaggerated is that he is domineering. Lin Yu knew very well that without mastering Haki, no matter how strong his body was, he would never be able to gain the upper hand in front of Logia and all kinds of weird devil fruit users. Being able to transform the body into elements is simply a heaven-defying existence. Unless it is a weapon made of seafloor stone or armed with domineering force, it cannot pose a threat to it at all. Lin Yu looked at Rhodes' miserable state. He had no idea how many ribs were broken, and his arms were probably dislocated. They were hanging limply and he couldn't use any strength at all. Major Rod. Lin Yu walked up to Rhodes and said, "I wonder if you are willing to come with me. I can give you the position of combat commander of the underworld pirates." Although this Rhodes is not very powerful, he has mastered the iron block in the 6th form of Marine. In other words, he has also mastered the practice methods of other moves in the 6th form of Marine. That's why Lin Yu wanted to win over Rhodes with a try attitude. "No way, I won't be partners with scum like you, don't have such wishful thinking." Rhodes coughed, and a trace of blood spilled from the corner of his mouth, but there was a trace of determination on his face, as if he was ready to die. Looking at Rhodes' expression, Lin Yu knew that everything he said was in vain. "If that's the case, I think we can still make a deal. How about I let you guys live and you tell me how to practice the 6th form of Marine?" Lin Yu said. Although he has made up his mind not to kill these Marines, it is still a good choice to make the best use of them and use these Marines to threaten Rhodes. Lin Yu learned from several other soldiers that Rhodes came from the elite training camp of Marine headquarters and naturally knew the Marine 6 style training methods very well. Hearing this, Rhodes was silent. He may not care about his own life or death, but he must think about his companions. All the Marines were tied to the side of the ship, lined up, facing the sea. If he disagrees, I'm afraid these soldiers will be tied up with 5 flowers, thrown into the sea, and allowed to be swallowed by the sea. Thinking of this, Rhodes couldn't help but hesitate. He turned his head and looked at Lin Yu, struggling fiercely in his heart. On the one hand, it is the life and death of the robes, and on the other hand, it will make the strength of this wanton pirate even higher. Therefore, Rhodes had to make a difficult decision. Seeing Rhodes' expression, Lin Yu knew there was something going on and suddenly felt happy. Between hundreds of lives and Marine 6 styles, he knew very well that Rhodes would make the most correct choice. But, Lin Yu must speed up Rhodes' choice. The night is long and there are many dreams, but the lateness will lead to changes. Crack. While Rhodes was hesitating, there was a soft sound in his ears. Then, he saw Lin Yu raising a musket, with the muzzle pointed at his data clerk's head. Major Rhodes, I give you 10 seconds to make a choice. What are you doing, you devil? 10. Lin Yu put his hand on the trigger. 9. He shouted. The voice was so cold that even Lin Yu was slightly startled. Or is he a cold-blooded person by nature? Lin Yu was still counting down while thinking. In fact, when Lin Yu was halfway through speaking, Rhodes had already compromised. Rhodes remembered that he had gone through a lot of hard work in the training camp and finally learned a technique called iron block from an excellent Marine instructor. Even if I give the technique to this pirate, he may not be able to master it. When he thought of this, Rhodes couldn't help but compromise. Don't give me a fake one. Rhodes dictated it while Gross took notes. Although the 6 Marine styles are quite powerful, they are not complicated to practice. In other words, the foundation of Marine 6th form training is strong physical strength. Only when the physical strength exceeds the limit that the human body can bear can it be practiced. This may be difficult for others, but with the blessing of the system, Lin Yu's 4-dimensional attributes have skyrocketed and his physical strength has become boundless. The 6th form of Marine is not difficult for him. Rhodes had just finished dictating the basics of these 6 movements, but found that Lin Nuo in front of him had disappeared out of thin air. Is this shaving? Rhodes' face was full of fear, and his eyes almost popped out. He had been exercising since he was a child, and had gone through the rigorous training at the Marine training camp before he mastered the iron block move. And the guy named Lin Yu in front of him, who looked like he was only 17 or 18 years old, actually mastered it immediately just after listening to his explanation. This is too outrageous. This scene not only shocked Gene Rhodes, but the surrounding pirates were also stunned. Lin Yu, on the other hand, felt very happy, his figure flickering in and out, it was so exciting. This move allows Lin Yu to take 10 steps in an instant, and the explosive power makes his speed reach the speed of sound. This is simply teleportation. The powerful physical strength and mental attributes allow Lin Yu to easily perform these unique physical skills. Boom. Then there's moonwalk. I saw Lin Nuo seemed to have a place to borrow strength in midair, flying up step by step, as if there was an invisible ladder. Kick your feet in the air as you jump, then change the trajectory of your movement before landing. With this kind of movement, he can move and attack in the air without any blind spots. In midair, Lin Yu kicked out suddenly. A white shock wave rushed out of the waves, splitting the waves in two, and set off a huge wind. Lanji. Seeing this, Rhodes couldn't help but gasp. Now, he already regretted his decision just now. He really didn't expect that there were such geniuses, or in other words, monsters, in this world. It's over, this ocean will be destroyed in the hands of this monster. But I opened the first door for this monster, and I am a sinner. Rhodes murmured. Lin Yu stopped. The Marine 6 style is just a move based on strong physical fitness. As long as you know the principle of the move and the body blessed by his system, you can perform it easily. After all, his strength attribute is as high as hundreds of points. Lin Yu pulled up his personal information. Host, Lin Yu. Strength LV2, 499.4. Agility LV2, 481.1. Endurance LV2, 493. Physique LV2, 496.2. Skill, fighting skill LV1, 33%. Shaving LV1, 6%. Iron LV1, 2.4%. Lan Jiao LV1, 3.4%. Moonwalk LV1, 6.4. Paper painting LV1, 3.6%. Fingergun LV1, 3.8%. Lin Yu nodded with satisfaction. Being able to learn the 6th form of Marine was definitely a qualitative leap for his strength. The most important thing now is to get familiar with and hone your body, and then constantly defeat the strong and constantly improve your physical fitness. Their current strength is not enough to welcome the ocean of the new world. Lin Yu longed for the great route. With a wave of his hand, Gross ordered a group of pirates to drive all the captured Marines to the pirate ship that was blown to pieces by gunfire. Before Lin Yu left, he handed a phone bug to Rhodes and asked him to call for support. Lin Yu still hopes that Rhodes can attract more Marine generals to him. After all, there are so many strong men in Marine. If Lin Yu wants to become strong quickly, he must defeat all kinds of strong men and strengthen himself. It's perfect for Marine to come to the door himself. On the other side, Gross's fighting ability is not very good, but in terms of management, he is still very good at it. Under his organization, the Wonquan pirates finally gained some deterrence and were finally able to sail the sea in a decent manner. First of all, there is the issue of sails. The originally white marine sail has now been painted black. At the same time, a ferocious skull was painted on the black sail, and behind the skull were two clenched fists. Lin Yu nodded and glanced at the pirate flag. If it were him, he would definitely not be able to do this. "Captain, tell me where we should go." Gross walked up to Lin Yu and asked. Lin Yu held on to the handrail on the side of the boat and looked at the endless blue ocean. Where to go? Of course it's the great shipping route. Lin Yu was thoughtful. Judging from his current situation, it would be best to go to the giant village Elbaf. But Lin Yu also heard that Elbaf village had been completely destroyed by Charlotte, Linlin. Who knows if there are any giants living there? When it comes to physical fitness, which intelligent race in the world can match the giants? If he could defeat hundreds of giants and absorb the giants' powerful power for his own use, how powerful he would become. He couldn't imagine it. But Lin Yu didn't know Elbaf's course, and there was no record pointer pointing to Elbaf's course. Therefore, he can only accumulate as much strength as possible in the process of going to the new world. This is also the best way at the moment. Enter the new world and set off on the great voyage. Lin Yu loudly announced an order. "Oh, yo-ho! Captain, great captain!" Suddenly the pirates cheered. Traveling to the Grand Line is what countless pirates dream of. One day has passed. Marine and world government issued a statement at the same time. Captain Lin Yu of the Wonquan pirates attacked Major Rhodes of the South Blue T3 branch and robbed a marine warship. He was extremely vicious and committed an unforgivable crime. It didn't take long before Lin Yu became the target of public criticism, a wanted criminal by marine and world government, and a rising star in the pirate world. For pirates, bounty is like a business card. Sometimes, the strength of a pirate is judged by the bounty, because the level of the bounty represents the threat the pirate poses to the world government. As for Lin Yu, the reward amount has reached 40 million Baileys. All this was the news brought back by Rhodes. Lin Yu learned the 6 marine styles in an instant. This shows that Lin Yu's strength is extraordinary. This is also why Lin Yu's first bounty was set so high by Marine. And Lin Yu has become one of the few pirates in South Blue with a bounty of up to 40 million belly. More importantly, this guy actually dared to rob a marine warship. The whole South Blue is boiling. South Blue is one of the 4 sea areas in the southeast, northwest and northwest. It is not a weak sea area like the East China Sea, where pirates run rampant without any scruples. But in South Blue, it was a big deal. Steal the ship, and also rob the warship, so brave. One of the pirates sighed, feeling very emotional. The bounty of 40 million belly, where did he come from? Can he get such a high bounty just by defeating a marine major's warship? A pirate murmured to himself. In this sea area, there are many ambitious people who have a strong interest in Lin Yu, a newly joined pirate. The sea. A ship flying the Yellow Springs pirate flag is sailing on the sea. This ship is much more luxurious than the previous one. After all, this ship was originally a warship. On the top floor of this pirate ship, Lin Yu was lying there, with his hands on the ground, sweating profusely doing the simplest push-ups. On his shoulders, he also carried a large dumbbell composed of 2 lead blocks. The volume of this dumbbell was almost several times that of Lin Yu's entire body. However, such a weight was only a little bit heavy for Lin Yu. Exercise effect. The strong physical strength required Lin Yu to take longer to adapt to this rapid increase in power. 9,997. 9998. Lin Yu kept pushing up his body, and the muscles in his arms bulged. That body, which was not much different from ordinary people, contained amazing power. 10,000. Lin Yu was silent in his heart. When the number reached 10,000, they stopped and put down their burdens. Sweat flowed down his body and wet the ground. Gulu. Lin Yu sighed. You get hungry too quickly. The only drawback brought about by the surge in strength is that he is too edible. Lin Yu built a barbecue room next to his practice room. A group of pirates became Lin Yu's exclusive barbecue masters, specially grilling the meat of Poseidon beasts for him. Lin Yu opened the door of the barbecue room, walked in, and ate deliciously under everyone's surprised eyes, without caring about the image at all. How much did the captain eat today? It must weigh more than 1,000 kilograms, right? Tell me, is the captain related to giants? Is it possible that he has giant blood? What a huge appetite. That's awesome, he deserves to be our captain. All the pirates are talking about it. Lin Yu didn't care at all and was not polite at all. He swallowed the barbecue in front of him in one gulp. I patted my belly and looked satisfied. Life, you should eat more meat. Bang bang bang. There's a knock on the door. Lin Yu said lazily. Come in. Gross rushed over, looking a little ugly. Captain, there is a ship outside. They are the Bonnie pirates. Lin Yu looked confused, and a figure suddenly appeared in his mind. Joel Bonnie. According to the original work, Pony's first appearance should be in the chapter on the Sabayati Islands, and his identity seems a bit mysterious. Pony pirates. Lin Yu stood up and asked with some confusion. Yes, it's the pirate group that became famous in South Blue last year. It's the pirate group headed by the gluttonous girl, Chow Ellie Bonnie, who has a bounty of 140 million belly. With such a high bounty, she is the third one in the entire South Blue, besides the captain, Eustace Kid, and kids, killing samurai, Kira. The gluttonous girl Pony, it is indeed her. One of the 12 supernovas, the gluttonous girl Chow Ellie Bonnie, possesses a devil fruit that can make people age and rejuvenate. She once transformed into a little girl on the street to stop Zoro from attacking the celestial dragons. Later, Marines sent troops to deal with the celestial dragons. She even turned several Marines into the appearance of old, weak, women and children. She can change into a child, an old man, etc. at will. Perhaps it is precisely because of this that the world government attaches so much importance to Chow Ellie Bonnie. Lin Yu even speculated that she might have escaped from world government education. This is the existence that is as famous as Luffy in the era of evil. How strong is it? In fact, before the big incident broke out, these 12 supernovas, even Luffy and the others, were not too strong. After Luffy and others were beaten away by the Big Bear, they reunited and their strength skyrocketed. In fact, Lin Yu is not afraid of the so-called evil times. But Lin Yu didn't expect that he would meet a pirate group famous in the original work. Gluttonous girl. Lin Yu took gauze and bandaged his hands. Just like preparation before every game. I wonder what you will gain by defeating the Teoti girl. Lin Yu walked out of the cabin. Lin Yu has also evaluated the system's capabilities. After summarizing several people he had defeated before, Lin Yu discovered that each person's attributes were determined based on the opponent's physique. In other words, he can only get the opponent's physical attributes. As for swordsmanship, physical skills or other skills, they are just blank. What's more, Lin Yu has never seen anyone with domineering and devil fruit abilities until now. Lin Yu also wanted to see how strong this devil fruit user was. At this time, the Bonnie pirates' ship was already close to 100 meters away. Lin Yu found Chow Ellie Bonnie standing at the bow of the ship. He has long pink hair, wears a pair of jeans, a white shirt on his upper body, a pair of brown boots on his feet, and a heart-shaped lipstick on his lips. Pretty little peppers. Chow Ellie Bonnie was standing on the bow of the ship, looking at a pirate ship approaching them. This ship is clearly a warship. The only difference is that the sails of this warship have changed colors and there is a pirate flag hanging on it. Oh, who is that guy over there? Chow Ellie Bonnie curled her lips, smiled contemptuously, and said to her subordinates. Well, this is the recently famous underworld pirates. They beat Major Rhodes down and even robbed his warship. How arrogant. A pirate walked up to Chow Ellie Bonnie, handed over Lin Yu's wanted order, and said. Chow Eli Bonnie nodded. Not bad, this kid has a bright future and deserves a commendation. It's strange. They are too brave. Don't they recognize us? How dare they be so arrogant and not give way at all? He looks like a little brat at first glance. Just because he has some fame, he becomes arrogant. They don't even realize how powerful our Captain Pawnee is. Chow Eli Bonnie frowned. If I get closer, I want to see who Lin Yu is. Coming. As Gross spoke, his legs were shaking. That was a pirate with a bounty of more than 100 million belly. Gross was lucky enough to be able to speak. This is the Bonnie Pirates. Joel Bonnie, a bounty of 140 million berries. This is too scary. Should we get closer? What if she thinks we are provoking? No, it's really over this time. The pirates were all talking in fear. But there was no trace of nervousness on Lin Yu's face. He patted Gross on the shoulder and comforted. Don't worry, Lao Zhe. You are a brave man on the sea. You are not even afraid of the waves on the sea. Are you afraid of a fool? Gross looked depressed, and he wanted to curse in his heart. Storm, are the storms scary? How come I don't know? But this girl you are talking about is really scary. Have you ever seen a 140 million berry? Lin Yu had no chance of Gross thoughts and looked at the approaching ship. He was planning to board Bonnie's ship first, so as not to destroy the newly captured warship during the battle. This time, Lin Yu no longer has to do the unskilled thing of jumping off the ship. His whole body jumped into the air, as if he was running in the air. Moonwalk. Lin Yu walked through the air and ran towards the ship where Chow Eli Bonnie was. He's flying. With a reward of 40 million, this guy really has a lot of tricks up his sleeve. Why did he fly here? Isn't this asking for death? On Bonnie's pirate ship, Chow Eli, Bonnie's subordinate, was not too worried, but was calm. Their captain is a devil fruit user who has the ability to control age. This is a devil fruit ability that is more terrifying than the elemental system. It can be activated as long as it touches the target. Therefore, people with this kind of fruit ability are generally very scary. Even if their physical fitness and physical skills are very poor, they can still be amazing and fearful. Lin Yu fell from the sky and stood opposite Chow Eli Bonnie. There is not much height difference between Chow Eli Bonnie and Lin Yu. Boy, are you coming to my ship like this to seek refuge with me? Chow Eli Bonnie crossed her arms and looked at Lin Yu intently. Lin Yu shrugged. On the contrary, I want to ask you, do you want to be my subordinate, woman? Lin Yu looked up and down at the woman with a hot figure and wild aura in front of him. Apart from being a bit rude and having a big appetite, Joelle Bonnie is quite pretty. Female, woman. The pirates around looked at this scene with horror in their eyes. Chow Eli Bonnie hates people calling her, woman, the most. She always thinks of herself as a man, which is already known to everyone. It's over. This kid is finished. Once he has a little fame, he will no longer know how high the sky is. What a pity. The pirates all looked at Lin Yu with a trace of pity. This black-haired boy will probably turn into a baby before long and be thrown into the sea and drowned. All the pirates couldn't help but sigh when they thought of this. It's a pity that a newcomer with great potential died in this sea area. Boy, you are looking for death. Chow Eli Bonnie was really furious and wanted to turn Lin Yu into a baby. At this moment, Lin Yu suddenly stretched out a hand and held Chow Eli Bonnie's slender waist in his arms. What? How dare he touch our captain? It's over, he's really done now. The pirates around them all had smiles on their faces, with a bit of gloating in their eyes. Chow Eli's fruit ability can be activated as long as it touches the body. However, just when everyone was vying to take a look at the unlucky guy, Chow Eli Bonnie was held in Lin Yu's arms, her whole body was limp, and she didn't see any next move. The pirates looked confused again. Lin Yu was not surprised. He felt the softness of the two balls and smiled jokingly. How about it, woman? Is it still comfortable? The members of the Bonnie Pirates watched helplessly as their captain was held in the arms of a man. They feel that their worldview has been turned upside down. Their captain, Chow Eli Bonnie, is a devil fruit user who can control age. How has the Teoti girl, who has a bounty of 140 million on her head, ever been so docile? Being held by a man, with her head resting on his shoulder. This can't be a dream, right? All the pirates looked confused. Finally someone noticed something was wrong. Everyone, look, that's the sea tower stone. That's right, it's really Halushi who is causing trouble. The sea tower stone is a solidified ocean stone that can restrain any devil fruit user. The moment those with devil fruit abilities touch the sea tower stone, they feel as if they have been dropped into the sea. Their entire bodies become limp and unable to lift any strength, let alone their abilities. At this moment, a pirate noticed that there was a stab in the fist in Lin Nuo's hand. A dark blue stone is embedded in the fist spur. That's really it. What a cunning guy. The pirates were furious. Chapter 11. Lin Yu smiled proudly. Of course he knew how dangerous Chow Elibani's powers were, and how could he put himself in danger. He is very confident in his own strength, but he is not stupid and arrogant. Even if there is a slight threat, he will nip it in the cradle and control everything in his own hands. The difference between a warship and an ordinary pirate ship is that its shell is inlaid with sea stones, which can make the Poseidon class think that this warship is of the same type and will not be attacked by the Poseidon class. The world government monopolizes a large amount of seafloor stone resources, which gives Marine great convenience. Seafloor stone is also a weapon for world government to dominate the world. Lin Yu dug out a piece of sea tower stone and embedded it on his fist, which was specially designed for those with devil fruit abilities. He hasn't learned domineering yet, and he doesn't know how to practice it yet. After all, he has never been exposed to or understood something like domineering. It is too difficult to awaken it. In this way, Halu Stone has become Lin Yu's best nemesis for those with devil fruit abilities. Ding! You defeated Chow Elibani. Strength plus 2-2, Agility plus 3-7, Endurance plus 3-2, Constitution plus 27.2. As expected, the physical fitness of these devil fruit users is not very strong. However, just when Lin Yu thought that the attribute bonus gained from defeating Chow Elibani would end there, the voice in his head did not stop. Ding! Unknown energy detected. Analyzing. Analysis completed. Extracting. The energy is too huge and has strong repulsion, so it is difficult to extract. Host has two options. 1. Directly decompose it into 1000 free attribute points. 2. Energy is extracted through exercise. According to the current exercise effect, it will take 150 years to fully extract energy. 150 years, are you kidding me? Lin Yu was slightly startled. This shows that the energy contained in devil fruit is really huge. If any devil fruit user can maximize their power, how terrifying it will be. Lin Yu thought about it and finally chose 1000 free attribute points. After all, 150 years of refining time. Instead of doing this, it would be better to add some refreshment from the beginning. In this world, there are too many people with devil fruit abilities, and all Lin Yu has to do is to hunt them down like a hunter. He seems to have seen a bright road, which is the way for him to become stronger. Devil fruits, the more the merrier. Let our captain go. A man wearing a white vest and holding a mace rushed over. Lin Yu was interrupted by a loud shout. Oh, I can't tell, your men are quite loyal. Girl, are you really not considering joining my pirate group? Lin Yu joked. Bonnie's whole body was limp and without any strength, and the piece of sea rock just stuck to her waist. You really are a scoundrel, I shouldn't have worn a naval-bearing outfit. At this time, Bonnie felt very regretful, ashamed and strange at the same time. Don't even think about it. Bonnie lay in Lin Yu's arms and used all his strength to say 2 words. But her voice was soft, with a hint of coquettishness. Lin Yu laughed loudly and let out a deep roar. Iron. The huge mace hit Lin Yu's head hard, and the sound of gold and iron echoed throughout the world. Clang. How could this happen? The man in the white vest widened his eyes and said, Point the gun. Lin Yu stretched out his left index finger and touched the shoulder of the man in the white vest. With one finger, a bloody hole was poked into the man's shoulder. His body was like paper, unable to resist this finger at all. Heart, shouted from everyone in the pirate group. Chow Elibani was worried, but her whole body was weak and she could not speak. Shave. Just when the pirates were horrified, Lin Yu had already picked up Bonnie, rushed into the crowd, and shouted loudly. Like a tiger entering a flock of sheep, like entering a deserted land. Point gun. Finger grab. I don't know how many times I used the finger grab in a row. Soon, the Bonnie pirates were completely wiped out. All the pirates covered their shoulders and groaned in pain. Little pony, how are you? Have you thought about it? Lin Yu smelled the faint fragrance coming from the girl next to him and asked intoxicatedly. Don't even think about it. Yes, just pick up the little pepper and it really deserves its reputation. Lin Yu chuckled. Just as Lin Yu was laughing, a loud shout came from the boat. It's Marine. Marine is here, that's Marine's battleship. Lin Yu raised his head and saw 3 Marine warships, raising their sails and heading here at extremely fast speeds. Sir Major General, the battleship in front of you is the battleship that was hijacked by the Wonquan pirates, but now it has become a pirate ship. A Marine Major General is holding a telescope and looking into the distance. What a courage! The Major General was burly, wearing a righteous cloak, and his upper body was naked, revealing his strong muscles. Major General, Lin Yu, this young boy who came out of nowhere, is quite courageous. He actually dared to hijack a Marine warship as a pirate ship and use it to make his own pirate ship. How audacious! Quote. Next to Major General Derek, an officer also wearing a cloak of justice smiled and said. But, there is another boat over there. The telescope turned. What catches the eye is Bonnie's pirate flag. They are the Bonnie pirates. Derek put down the telescope in his hand. How come the underworld pirates are related to the Bonnie pirates? It looks like there will be a tough battle today, Colonel Loris. A fleet consisting of a Marine Major and a Marine Captain. This is enough for Marine headquarters. This is enough strength to sweep the entire South Blue. But if the 2 most ferocious pirate groups in South Blue join forces, it will be difficult to deal with them. But fortunately, Lin Yu of the underworld pirates was so bold that he mistook Marine's battleship for a pirate ship. He was really asking for his own death. Derek laughed heartily, and then he yelled, "Send the order, turn the gun, and aim at the Bonnie pirates." The 3 Marine warships all turned their guns and aimed at the Bonnie pirates' ship. Hey, little pony, it seems they are coming for you. Lin Yu burst out laughing when he saw this. Idiot. Chow Ellie Bonnie mumbled feebly. What are you talking about? I'm telling you, you're an idiot. Bonnie was used to Lin Yu holding her like this, so she leaned weakly on Lin Yu's shoulder and said loudly. Am I an idiot? Then you are a fool. Lin Yu was trying to save some face with words, but suddenly heard a huge roar. At this moment, the warship he just grabbed suddenly made a loud noise, then exploded and turned into pieces scattered on the sea. How could this happen? Idiot, haven't you noticed it yet? Chow Ellie Bonnie rolled her eyes at him. She really couldn't understand how such an idiot could survive at sea. The Marine headquarters has a record of every battleship. If someone robs the battleship, it can be easily traced. In addition, the battleship has a disintegration device, and the battleship itself is also controlled. If you want to use the battleship as a pirate ship, then this is asking for death. Chow Ellie Bonnie glanced at Lin Yu contemptuously and said this. Lin Yu nodded. I understand. He really knows nothing about these things. But in fact, everyone knows that Marine's battleships can be easily traced, which is also Lin Yu's original intention to grab the battleships. But only people above Marine Admiral are qualified to know that Marine's battleship is still controlled by the headquarters and can easily be disintegrated. Unexpectedly, this Chow Ellie Bonnie actually knew this secret. Bonnie's identity was indeed a bit mysterious. Lin Yu felt a little regretful, looking at the piece of wood that had completely turned into a piece of wood and scattered on the sea. It seems like I really want to have a pirate ship of my own. Lin Yu observed Chow Ellie Bonnie's boat. What are you doing? This is my ship. Bonnie was shocked. Lin Yu laughed and said, as long as you join my pirate group and become my crew, then doesn't this ship belong to me? Lin Yu said shamelessly. He was not ashamed of his logic. Don't even think about it. Don't think about it. How could you do this? Joelle Bonnie jumped up again. At the same time, the 3 warships opened fire at the same time, and the artillery fire came like rain, overwhelming. Okay, little Bonnie, you wait for me here first, I'm going to guard my ship. Lin Yu pushed Chow Ellie Bonnie away, then jumped up. What's your boat? This is obviously my boat, you fool. Joelle Bonnie was so anxious that she jumped. However, Lin Yu has already soared into the sky. Boom boom boom. A black shadow kept flashing in the void. Dozens of cannonballs were kicked back into the sea one by Lin Yu. This little fool is so powerful. As strong as a monster. Chow Elibani was stunned, then thought of something again, and her face turned red. Lin Yu, who jumped into the air, instantly became the target of everyone's attack. My ship was sunk by you. Then pay the price for what you did. Lin Yu shouted loudly. Lanzhou. A huge crescent-shaped white light fell from the sky. It cut directly through a battleship. Bang! The slash split the seawater into two. Also split the battleship into two. A huge whirlpool appeared out of thin air on the rippling blue sea. Swallow the huge battleship that was split into two into the whirlpool. The battleship sinks. The Marines on the ship hurriedly jumped into the sea, and the lifeboat was torn apart in the whirlpool. More and more Marines were also involved. As for how many people can escape in the end, it is unknown. Ding! You defeated. Such voices kept echoing in Lin Yu's mind. It seems that many Marines have lost their combat effectiveness in this whirlpool. With just this blow, Lin Yu's physique was greatly improved. Lin Yu wanted to control his power, but his power grew much faster than his cultivation speed. In this way, Lin Yu's training has become a habit. In fact, Lin Yu didn't expect this land's leg chop to split a battleship in half. He was planning to take a few more kicks. But when he kicked the battleship in half, he truly understood his own strength. In this way, his confidence will be even stronger. No. Impossible. On the other side, Major General Derek looked at this scene with a look of horror on his face. This guy, Lin Yu, is he sure he is only 17 years old as the information says? I have to say, Derek was a little panicked. It was not that Derek had never seen people who could sink a warship with one blow, but those were pirates who were famous on the Grand Line, or generals who were Marine Lieutenant General or above. If Derek guessed correctly, what this boy used was one of Marine's 6 combat skills, Lan Ko. Lan Zhao actually has such great power. This is something Derek never expected. Captain Loris, it seems that this time, our opponent is more powerful than we imagined. Derek took a deep breath, then looked at Loris and said. I understand. Loris nodded seriously. According to Major Rhodes, Lin Yu had just learned the Marine 6 style training method for a few days. He was able to practice Lan Ko to this extent in such a short period of time. This shows that his physical fitness is extraordinary. He may have comparable to the strength of a giant. Loris analyzed. The strength of the 6 postures depends on the proficiency of the performer, as well as the physical fitness of the performer. The better the physical fitness, the greater the power. Loris's analysis is sound and well-founded. After all, Lan Jia is a slash produced by kicking, and the slash produced by a swordsman using a long sword are two completely different concepts. This blow was caused entirely by pure physical power. They looked at Lin Yu in the sky, and vaguely, they seemed to see a giant humanoid beast. Only the two of us can suppress him by joining forces. That's what I thought too. Loris nodded in response to Derek's suggestion. So, what about that gluttonous girl named Jo Elibani? Derek asked. If it was just Lin Yu, could the two of them work together to deal with it? The key is, there is a gluttonous girl with a bounty of 140 million. If Huang Quan, Lin Yu and Teodi girl join forces. Derek said that, and Loris knew what he was referring to. If these two guys join forces, their entire fleet will most likely be annihilated. Concentrate your firepower and sink Bonnie's ship. The Teodi girl is a person with devil fruit abilities. Once she falls into the sea, she will not pose any threat at all. Derek immediately gave the order to fire. As the commander of a fleet, Derek naturally knows what to do. Then, he looked at Lin Yu and took a deep breath. Everyone off the deck. Facing this kind of monster, no matter how many soldiers there are, it will be difficult to defeat it. Now is the time for the strongest to fight. Colonel Loris, only the two of us can deal with Lin Yu, please. Loris nodded in agreement. At the same time, the remaining 2 battleships fired their guns, and the shells poured down like a heavy rain. What a courage! Lin Yu has regarded Chow Ilibani's ship as his own. Let alone a ship, he has even classified her crew as his own. But even though Lin Yu tried his best to resist, a cannonball still hit Bonnie's boat. With no other choice, Lin Yu had no choice but to fix his sights on the enemy's warship. To capture the thief, capture the king first. Lin Yu knows this very well. He jumped down suddenly. Bang! Lin Yu stepped hard on the warship deck, splashing a piece of sawdust. I don't know what kind of garbage Marine sent this time. Lin Yu raised his head and looked at Loris and Derek with a ferocious expression. Trash, you are looking for death. Derek took a step forward and roared at Lin Yu. Transform. When Lin Yu was stunned, Derek turned into a pig. A man stood upright, his fangs were 15 centimeters long, and the hair all over his body stood up like steel needles. Hyena pig fruit, common species, hyena pig form. Coming. That's Major Derek's devil fruit ability. Hyena pig fruit. Just the transformation can greatly increase his strength. That guy is finished. Marines are full of confidence in their superiors. At this moment, Lin Yu was ecstatic. Another fruit ability user. Defeating a person with a devil fruit will increase your strength far more than defeating an ordinary person. Just get 1000 free attribute points from Joel Bonnie. This hyena fruit may also give him 1000 free attribute points. Lin Yu knew very well what free attribute points meant. First of all, the attribute points obtained from defeating many opponents are not balanced, but as an underground boxer, Lin Yu knows very well that whether it is strength, speed, endurance, or physical fitness. It's like 4 wooden boards of the human body forming a bucket, and how much water the bucket can hold depends on the shortest board. If the partiality is too serious, then his physical fitness will not be able to show its full potential. Even if you have the power to destroy heaven and earth, if you are not agile enough and your speed is too slow, you will not be able to hit anyone. What is the use of it? Therefore, if there are more free attribute points, Lin Yu can add points accordingly based on his actual situation. Okay, very good. But it turns out to be a pig. Lin Yu couldn't help laughing. Then I won't be polite. After Major General Derek transformed, his voice became gloomy. Boy, don't be too arrogant. Let me show you the power of devil fruit. As Derek spoke, the hair on his back stood up like steel needles. Hyena pig fruit, pear blossom needle. Derek suddenly turned around, and steel needle-like manes sprayed out from all over his body. Swish swish, a sharp sound broke through the air, and Loris rushed out from behind Derek, holding the long sword high. Bring it on. One blade style, crazy stab. Loris clenched the sword in his hand and roared angrily. With a clang sound, he pulled out his long sword, took a step forward, and struck Lin Yu with a slash. Derek and Loris cooperated seamlessly. Derek blocked to the right and Loris slashed to the left, completely blocking Lin Yu's retreat. A sword as fast as lightning. This sword accurately struck Lin Yu's right arm directly to his left abdomen. It seemed that Lin Yu was split into 2 halves, but Loris became even more anxious. Because he clearly felt that his sword did not hit anything at all. That's just an afterimage. Call. Just as Loris expected, Lin Yu's figure suddenly appeared from the other side. Shave. Left side. Loris only felt a strong wind blowing towards his face. At the critical moment, he turned around and placed the long sword in his hand in front of him for defense. However, it has no effect at all. Point the gun. Lin Yu stretched out a finger. Laugh. Blood splatters. Loris looked down at his chest, and Lin Yu pierced his chest with one finger. Blood spurts out. What a speed. Before Loris fell into coma, this thought flashed through his mind. Loris. As Loris fell, Derek let out a cry. I'm not done with you. Swish swish swish. I saw the steel needles folding back in midair and stabbing towards Lin Yu. Shave. Lin Yu disappeared from the place again. The next second, he appeared in front of Derek. I knew it. Derek roared angrily. Hyena impact. The wild boar fangs in Derek's mouth suddenly opened, like a real wild boar, and hit it hard. Ha ha, you are looking for death. Lin Yu is not afraid of head-to-head confrontation. Even those with devil fruit abilities are the same. If it were an ordinary animal, then people with devil fruits would only be able to compete with each other for physical strength. Lin Yu is still very confident about this. In terms of physical strength, he will only be stronger than Derek. Punch out. Boom. Lin Yu punched Derek in the head. Laugh. The blood suddenly appears. Derek flew backwards and hit the deck hard, creating a huge hole in the deck. Ding. You defeated Loris. Strength plus 157.8, agility plus 167.3, endurance plus 211.3, constitution plus 262.5. Ding. You defeated Derek, strength plus 224.1, agility plus 157.5, endurance plus 211.2, constitution plus 262.1. Ding. Unknown energy detected. Under analysis. Analysis completed. Extracting. The energy is too huge and has strong resistance, so it is difficult to extract. Host has two options. 1. Choose 1000 free attribute points. 2. Choose to store energy and pass exercise extraction, based on the current results, will take approximately 80 years to complete. 80 years, what is this concept? Lin Yu frowned slightly. It seems that the power of devil fruit is still strong and weak. This time, Lin Yu chose the method of storing energy. With the previous 1000 free attribute points, plus the gains from defeating the 2 Marine officers. If he wants another 1000 free attribute points, it doesn't mean much to Lin Yu. However, Lin Yu still wanted to try to see how beneficial it would be to store the energy in the devil fruit and extract it through training. Moreover, in terms of attribute points, there are hundreds of Marines on those 2 ships. Isn't this an attribute point? Lin Yu turned his head. Seeing their commander being knocked down before their eyes, all the sailors wailed. Lord Derek, Major General, compared with other sea areas, South Blue is relatively smooth and has basically not experienced any major battles. A small nook like the previous Bloody Hand pirates can be regarded as South Blue's shocking pirates. Generally speaking, the pirates here are all crooked. How could they encounter a monster like Lin Yu? All the sailors were sweating coldly, and their legs were trembling. Lin Yu didn't give them much time to grieve. He stepped forward and disappeared from their sight in an instant. When he appeared, he was already on the side of another warship. A sailor next to him was still in shock. Before he could react, Lin Yu punched him into the sea, and then kicked another sailor. Fly off the ship. All this was done in an instant. After Lin Yu knocked several people away in succession, they came back to their senses. Quick! Fire! Fire! Kill him, this devil! The sailors screamed in panic, their backs soaked with sweat. They were all shocked by Lin Yu's terror, and felt a sense of powerlessness in their hearts. However, they were trained regular troops after all. Even in this situation, they still instinctively raised their guns to fight back. A dozen sailors around them aimed at Lin Yu at the same time. Bang! Bang bang bang! The bullet passed through Lin Yu's figure and hit the deck of the wooden boat, sending sawdust flying. At the same time that the sailors fired, Lin Yu's body had already left the place, leaving only an afterimage. Shave! Lin Yu had already rushed into the crowd, and the sailors looked horrified. Careful! No! He's here! Get out of the way, behind you! In such a close-range fight, the musket is obviously of little use, and may even injure a companion accidentally. The sailors drew their sabers and rushed towards Lin Yu without hesitation, slashing wildly. Seeing everyone rushing over, facing numerous machetes, Lin Yu punched through the ship's plank, then lifted the ship's plank away with both hands, swung it up effortlessly, and swept away thousands of troops with one blow. The dozen or so sailors who rushed over were instantly swept to the ground. Listening to the system prompts that kept ringing in his mind, Lin Yu did not hesitate, raised his fists and rushed towards the more than 200 Marines not far away. Ah, this is a monster! 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 It's terrible! Help! Quickly! Send a distress signal quickly! Hurry up! Seeing their companions falling to the ground one by one, the Marines panicked completely. Some turned around and ran away, while others rushed up with red eyes. But in the end they were all put down to the ground by Lin Yu. In the cabin, Petty Officer Second Class listened to the noise outside and picked up the phone in a panic. This is the 3rd Squadron of the South Blue Marine T3 branch. We are being attacked by the Wonkwon pirates led by Lin Yu. Please support us. Please support us. This is the 3rd Squadron of the South Blue Marine T3 branch. We are being attacked by the Wonkwon pirates led by Lin Yu. Please support us. Please support us. This is the 3rd Squadron of the South Blue Marine T3 branch. We are being attacked by the Wonkwon pirates led by Lin Yu. Please support us. Please support us. Petty Officer Second Class kept saying this, regardless of whether anyone received the distress signal. His phone bug is a phone bug connected to Marine's public channel. He doesn't know if there is a marine nearby, but if there is, then someone can receive the signal. If not, he can only pray. With marine nearby, he had no choice. Brumuru, Buruburu, just over 100 nautical miles away, an unprecedentedly huge marine warship was slowly sailing on the sea. In the cabin, on the highest level of the warship, a burly man sat quietly on the command podium, staring blankly at the sea ahead, as if he was thinking about something. Report to the General, we have received a distress signal from the 3rd Fleet of the T3 branch. Do you want to provide support? A Marine soldier opened the door and walked in. He asked calmly, as if he was talking about something insignificant. Oh, the 3rd Squadron. It's Derek and the others. The strong man stood up and turned around. This person is Akainu Sakaski, one of the 3 Marine generals. The 3rd Squadron encountered a joint attack by the Bonnie pirates and the Wonkwan pirates. It is currently in progress. They need support. The Bonnie pirates. Akainu looked serious. That annoying little girl finally showed up. Joelle Bonnie. Akainu didn't take the Yellow Springs pirates seriously at all, but he paid special attention to the Bonnie pirates. Okay, I'll go out for a while and I'll be back soon. I saw Sakaski jump up. The body turned into a ball of magma, which continued to spray backwards and flew towards the sky at an extremely fast speed. At this time, Bonnie was on the big ship. Bonnie murmured. This kid is really perverted. Hey, is there anyone who can still move? Quickly sail the boat and get rid of that kid. Otherwise, when he is done, we won't be able to run away. Chow Eli Bonnie planned to sneak away while Lin Yu was on the marine battleship without noticing him. Chow Eli Bonnie is not good at physical skills, but she is quite good at escaping. At this time, Lin Yu was about to knock down all the chasing Marines. He didn't notice Chow Eli Bonnie's little move, and a smile appeared on his face. Suddenly, everyone felt a heat wave coming. The air seems to be burning and the seawater is boiling. Lin Yu turned around and saw a piece of lava rolling down from the sea. In the lava, stood a man wearing a marine hat and a yellow short-sleeved shirt. This picture. It's the General. It's General Sakaski. The remaining Marines who had not fallen down let out a cheer. General Marine. This is Marine's strongest Marine general. Lin Yu's eyes narrowed and his expression was solemn. No matter how much confidence he has in himself, he knows that there is no way that he can be the opponent's opponent now. Not good. Chow Eli Bonnie's expression also became serious. The waves are rough. The hot magma dripped onto the sea surface, making a sizzling sound. Even though she was 100 meters away, Chow Eli Bonnie felt a wave of heat coming towards her face. Akainu Sakaski, General of the Marine Headquarters. Logia, the rockberry fruit user. He was standing on a piece of lava. The temperature of the lava reached thousands of degrees, and scorching heat waves were spewing out. Akainu. Lin Yu looked solemn. He knew very well that if he faced Akainu head-on, he would have no chance of winning. Maybe his physical skills are quite good, and all the attributes of his body are very explosive. But after all, he has not yet mastered hockey. It is almost impossible to defeat a Logia devil fruit user, let alone a Marine general, one of the most powerful warriors in the world. It's Marine General Akainu. Saved. Great, I knew we weren't abandoned. At this moment, the sailors on the ship were crying profusely, and many people collapsed on the deck. All of them knew that no matter how evil Lin Yu was, he was definitely no match for a general. The Marines survived, but the pirates were frightened. In the Bonnie pirates, everyone's legs are trembling. No way, that's a general. Marine even has the general here. Akainu might have been nearby. It's over. The crew members of the Wonkwan pirates were in the same situation. Because their ship had been destroyed, they were all floating on the sea, grabbing a piece of wood and trying to escape from the battlefield. But now, the appearance of Akainu made everyone feel as if their bodies were about to freeze. I wanted to run away, but I couldn't muster any strength. I felt like I had fallen into an ice cellar. Sakaski looked at Lin Yu, his eyes full of disdain. Another little mouse can only make trouble in South Blue. As soon as Akainu finished speaking, he waved his hand violently. Several hot lava balls flew towards Lin Yu. The scorching heat wave hit his face, and Lin Yu knew that he would never be able to withstand this blow. Shave. Just when the magma was about to gather on Lin Yu, he suddenly dodged. However, when he appeared again, another larger torrent of lava struck. This time Lin Yu can't escape anymore. Captain! Amidst the exclamations of the members of the Wonquan pirates, Lin Yu was directly blown out and smashed into the sea. Soon, the sea returned to calm. Akainu didn't even look at Lin Yu. To him, Lin Yu was just a little guy. Being defeated by him in 2 moves was already pretty good. There was cheering in the marine. Huang Quan Lin Yu, who had been intimidating everyone like a demon just now, could not even hold back a single move in front of this general. One of the strongest men in marine, he truly deserves his reputation. The marines looked at Akainu with admiration in their eyes. At this time, Akainu's eyes had fallen on Chow Elibani. Although Chow Elibani was trembling, she still mustered up the courage and looked at Akainu. She knew very well that once she was targeted by Akainu, she would not be able to escape. With her current strength, there was no way she could be Akainu's opponent. In fact, Chow Elibani's combat power only relies on her fruit ability, and she is not good at physical skills. But what's the use of being good at physical skills? Chow Elibani witnessed with her own eyes the scene of Lin Yu being killed by Akainu with 1 move, and a strange color flashed in her eyes. There is a huge disparity in strength between the 2 sides. Akainu put his hands in his trouser pockets and looked up and down at Chow Elibani and others. When I heard you escaped from the government, I broke out in a cold sweat. Bonnie. Akainu took his hands out of his pockets and gently patted away the dust from the cloak of justice. Joelle Bonnie's eyes have always been on Akainu. At this time, she had calmed down a lot. They can't run away anyway. I am at odds with you. Joelle Bonnie let out an angry roar. Akainu looked calm. All evil must end. Evil will be swallowed up by the fiery rocks, and justice will be upheld by the government. Akainu said lightly, and then waved his hand fiercely. The hot magma instantly split the pirate ship in 2, and the crew on board was also swallowed by the magma. Of course, that doesn't include Joelle Bonnie. Chow Elibani watched helplessly as her companion was killed by Akainu, her eyes filled with tears. At this time, Akainu was already preparing to capture Chow Elibani alive. It's time for all this farce to end. Although Akainu was just passing by here, he finally caught Chow Elibani, and this trip was finally not in vain. Chow Elibani lowered her head, her back looking a little lonely. I can't escape after all. Akainu walked forward slowly. Call. A sense of crisis suddenly arose in Akainu's heart. What? Soon enough, Akainu's body instantly transformed into an elemental form, and the magma suddenly split open in his chest, revealing a huge hole. Hai Lu Shi. At this moment, a black shadow suddenly rushed out of the sea and held Chow Elibani in his arms. Moonwalk. Lin Yu quickly jumped into the air. Akainu, see clearly, she is mine. Lin Yu shouted loudly, his body was like lightning, and he fled quickly. General Marine, right, sooner or later, I will beat you into a dog. Lin Yu yelled while fleeing. You brat, I have nothing to do with you. Chow Elibani said fiercely in Lin Yu's arms. Of course, this is just talk. Bonnie also knows that in this situation, he and Lin Yu are on the same side. Otherwise, Chow Elibani could completely rely on the close contact between the 2 to turn Lin Yu into a baby or even an old man. Shut up, woman, Lin Yu said as he ran quickly. Akainu also looked surprised. In his opinion, the blow just now was enough to kill Lin Yu, just like trampling an ant to death. There was no need to look further. Unexpectedly, Lin Yu was not dead, and suddenly jumped out of the water, still alive and well, without any injuries. Even Chow Elibani was snatched away by him in front of him. How brave. He was actually run away by a little pirate. If this matter spreads out, as a marine general, how will Akainu's face be saved? Lava cage. Akainu pumped his fist. In an instant, the lava surged, catching up with Lin Yu in an instant, and then turned into a lava cage, covering Lin Yu and Chow Elibani. Hey, fool, that's a marine general. Your physical skills are not as good as your verbal skills. Do you think you can run away from him? Chow Elibani curled her lips and said disdainfully. If you had escaped from the beginning, you might still have a chance, but now, you don't even have a chance to escape. Bonnie said this, but actually she was quite grateful to him. Because just now Lin Yu could have pretended to be dead or taken the opportunity to escape. But now Lin Yu insisted on coming out to rescue her, which caused a ripple in her heart. Girls, stop talking. Trapped in the lava cage, Lin Yu became a little impatient, and sweat broke out on his forehead and chest. I said you will be mine, and you will be my crew member, and I will definitely get you on my ship. General Marine. So what, do you think I, Lin Yu, am afraid of him? A trace of madness flashed in Lin Yu's eyes. Since I chose to take you away, I deserve to die for the path I chose. Women, you should be obedient. Chow Ili Bani was stunned. There was something warm in her heart. This little fool had to risk his life to come back to save her even though he could escape. Even though he was taking advantage of her, she was not angry at all. Akainu glanced at Lin Yu who was locked in a cage, and then at Chow Ili Bani. If it weren't for the fact that Lin Yu was still holding Chow Ili Bani in his arms, Akainu wouldn't have cared about Lin Yu's life or death at all, and the magma directly hit Lin Yu. But if it involves Joel Bani, Akainu has to be cautious. What a tenacious guy. Akainu frowned. If you want to kill me, you still have a long way to go. Lin Yu said breathlessly. His body was still aching, and his chest had a large scar burned by the magma. Fortunately, Lin Yu's body was strong enough, so his lungs were not burned by the magma. If before, Akainu just treated Lin Yu as an ant with a casual attitude, now, he is really serious about it. Lin Yu's physical strength really surprised Akainu. Looking at his appearance, he looks like he is 16 or 17 years old at most. This shows how talented he is, monster. Akainu thought to himself. In this case, Akainu will naturally not let Lin Yu go. In his eyes, there is no room for any evil, and there is only justice in his heart, just like what is written on his cloak. Of course, this is just what Akainu thinks is evil. To him, pirates are evil, and Marines are just. Akainu is an upright and ruthless man who cannot tolerate the existence of any evil. In order to complete their mission, they can slaughter their colleagues and civilians without restraint. During the O'Hara incident, he ordered his men to blow up a refugee ship full of O'Hara residents on the grounds that it might be harboring archaeologists. During the Marina Fando incident, he personally executed several Marines who tried to escape. This man is cruel and has no human touch at all. Sakaski. Joe Eli Bani's voice rang out. If I die, it means nothing to you and the people behind you. Akainu frowned. Chow Eli Bani was strongly required by the world government to be captured alive. Chow Eli Bani looked at Lin Yu and said, we can make a deal. As long as you let this guy go, I will go back with you. Otherwise, just kill me and take my body back. Chow Eli Bani said lightly, with a hint of indifference in her tone. Even General Marine can't prevent the death of Joel Bani, because she can change anyone's age, including her own. Hey, woman, Lin Yu suddenly spoke, do you think I would sacrifice my companions to escape for my life? Don't look down on me. If I tell you to stop being nagging, just shut up. Lin Yu held Chow Ili Bani in his arms and grinned. Watch out. While Lin Yu was speaking, he held Chow Ili Bani with both hands. When Chow Ili Bani screamed, he used his body to protect her, and then slammed his back against the lava cage. You, what are you doing? You don't want your life. Before Chow Ili Bani finished speaking, she was hugged by Lin Yu and rushed towards the bottom of the sea. Her devil fruit power user's body would become limp as soon as it came into contact with seawater, so she could only let Lin Yu hold her and escape under the sea. Akainu is also a devil fruit user, and seawater is his natural nemesis, which means he cannot enter the sea. Lin Yu held Chow Ili Bani in his arms, swimming back and forth in the sea like a fish. A burning pain came from his back, and the seawater surged rapidly, expanding the wound on his back. The seawater is already salty, and now it's like someone has sprinkled a handful of salt on the wound. But Lin Yu could no longer care about his injuries at this time. He wanted to get out of Akainu's sight before the air in his lungs was completely exhausted. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'll die here today. While Lin Yu was running for his life, above the sea, Akainu looked at Lin Yu with even more surprise. Thousands of degrees of magma didn't burn Lin Yu to ashes. It even made him rush out of the magma cage. It's incredible. This kind of physical strength is really difficult for Akainu not to take seriously. Today, he must keep Lin Yu here, otherwise, once this kind of monster grows up, it will definitely be a huge threat. Akainu went all out this time. Streams of magma continued to pour into the sea. Turning the river upside down should be the description of the scene at this time. Under the sea, hot magma kept pouring in from around Lin Yu. Lava storm. Akainu roared. The lava was like rain, covering the sky, and only a fiery red patch could be seen on the entire sea surface. Chow Ili Bani was held in Lin Yu's arms and couldn't say a word. But she also knew that she might not be able to escape today. Lin Yu also stopped. He turned his back upward, blocking Chow Ili Bani from under him. Hey, little girls, it seems that Lousy can't escape today. Lin Yu said with some regret, but Akainu won't kill you. Even if he catches you, his life will not be in danger. Take care of yourself. Lin Yu said something in her ear and moved his mouth towards her. What do you want to do? Don't do this. Chow Ili Bani had no power to fight back and was easily taken down by Lin Yu. Until a breath came out of his mouth. Joel Bani was relieved. It turned out that Lin Yu was trying to calm her down. After feeling nervous, I also felt a little disappointed, but at the same time I felt warm. Just, what is he going to do? Chow Ili Bani saw the determination in Lin Yu's eyes. Lin Yu breathed a sigh of relief and said, even if I die, I will die on the battlefield, Marine General Akainu. No matter how strong he is, I will knock off his front teeth. You just stay in the sea for me, Akainu won't kill you. As soon as Lin Yu finished speaking, a voice suddenly sounded in his mind. Ding, if it is detected that the host is in critical condition, the stored energy can be forcibly extracted. Pay attention. Once extracted, it cannot be stopped. The host will be subject to severe energy shock, which may cause serious damage. Do you want to extract? Madhu, he's going to die anyway, so what's the point of being injured? Lin Yu understood that he should have gotten all this energy from Derek, but he didn't know if this energy could deal with Akainu. Can this power kill Akainu? Ding. According to the simulation results, the probability of extracting energy to defeat Akainu and not dying is 1%. The probability is too small. It is recommended that the host escape immediately. What are the chances that Akainu and I will die together? 50%. Lin Yu cursed secretly. Only 50%. Lin Yu looked at Akainu with an angry look. He must make a decision as soon as possible. This old dog is so lucky. I must avenge this. Lin Yu hugged Chow Ili Bani and hugged her tightly. We are about to escape. I hope we are lucky. As soon as Lin Yu finished speaking, a huge burst of energy suddenly burst out from under his feet. Accelerate suddenly. Break out of the sea. Then, it flew towards the distance at a speed close to the speed of sound. In just a blink of an eye, he completely disappeared from Akainu's sight. Even General Akainu looked at Lin Yu and Chow Ili Bani in stunned silence. It was not until the two figures disappeared from his sight that Akainu reacted and became furious instantly. In his eyes, these two ant-like little guys could actually run away from under his nose. This made the anger in Akainu's heart almost burst out. Huang Quan. Lin Yu. Akainu growled viciously. Lin Yu, who was fleeing, naturally knew that he had been targeted by Akainu. But Lin Yu didn't care. Even if Akainu didn't come to trouble him, he would still settle accounts with Akainu. Today's revenge will be repaid twice as much tomorrow. The wind howled, and Lin Yuqiang endured the severe pain of broken bones and flew for half an hour and hundreds of kilometers. Finally, Lin Yu saw a small desert island. He turned around with difficulty, then his vision went dark, he lost consciousness, and he crashed into the desert island like a plane. There are countless such desert islands in the ocean. Many of them are not even marked on the charts, and even the record pointer does not point there. In a sense, these small islands scattered in the vast sea seem to be invisible. If they hadn't passed by here, no one would have discovered this place and landed on the island. On an unknown desert island, on a beach, a person was lying quietly. There is a fire next to it. Chow Ili Bani was adding firewood to the fire, and occasionally glanced at Lin Yu, who still had his eyes closed. This coma lasted for 1 day and 1 night. Lin Yu's chest and back were burned black by the magma and scabs had begun to form. Wearing a pair of tattered sports shorts, his strong body was covered with scars. All kinds of herbs were smeared all over the body, exuding a pungent smell. Needless to say, this is Joel Bani's handiwork. Guru. Joel Bani rubbed her belly. Hungry again. Chow Ellie. The reason why Bonnie is called the gluttonous girl is because she eats a lot. She could hunt on her own, but the island was densely wooded. Leaving the unconscious Lin Yu on the beach, Chow Ellie Bonnie was worried. What if Lin Yu was eaten by a wild beast? So, she could only pick up some seashells and crabs on the beach. Not to mention that these little things couldn't fill Chow Ellie Bonnie's stomach at all. Even if they could, she was reluctant to eat any of them. She was worried that when Lin Yu woke up, there would be no food and it would be bad for her health. On the bonfire, a hairy crab and several huge seashells were roasted. I just don't know if it can satisfy Lin Yu's appetite. At this time, the corners of Lin Yu's mouth twitched slightly and he slowly opened his eyes. Lin Yu opened his eyes, and what he saw was a clear blue sky without a single cloud. Then, the young face of Joelle Bonnie appeared. Oh, Lin Yu grinned. Ha ha, hiss. It looks like we escaped from Akainu. Lin Yu couldn't help but take a breath as he laughed and accidentally talked about the wound. After getting used to the pain of the wound for a while, he sat up. Ouch, be careful of your injuries. Chow Ellie Bonnie jumped up excitedly and anxiously. Lin Yu didn't care. Haha. He's still alive, that's great. This little injury doesn't matter. Akainu Sakaski, wash your neck and wait, I will get back this debt sooner or later. Lin Yu shouted loudly. Okay, can't you just be a little bit more careful? If you get injured, forget it, you should take good care of your injuries first. In your current state, let alone a general, even a lieutenant general can do it. I'll beat you to a pulp. Chow Ellie Bonnie said as she handed a baked crab to Lin Yu. Lin Yu took it without hesitation, ate it with big mouthfuls, and at the same time opened his attribute panel. After these few battles, his physical fitness has reached an astonishing level. Host, Lin Yu. Strength LV2 999.4. Agility LV2 981.3. Endurance LV2 993.5. Physique LV2 996.8. Free attribute points 1000. Skill, fighting skill LV1 76%. Shaving LV1 50.6%. Iron LV1 52.2%. Lan Jiao LV1 54.4%. Moonwalk LV1 59.2%. Paper painting LV1 48%. Fingergun LV1 54.2%. Just when Lin Yu finished eating the crab, a gurgling sound suddenly came from his ears. He looked up at Joelle Bonnie with a smile on his face. Bonnie's face turned slightly red and seemed a little embarrassed. Ha, Bonnie, are you hungry? No, you fool, I want you to take care of it. Teoti girls are always so wild. Bonnie, wait. Lin Yu swooped into the jungle. Not long after, he came out with a big wild boar. A few hours passed, and the two devoured the wild boar, which weighed 2,000 to 3,000 kilograms. Lin Yu lay comfortably on the beach and patted his belly. Bonnie, can you be domineering? No, Bonnie replied matter-of-factly. What a pity. I just don't understand how you can get a reward of 140 million with your strength. I want you to take care of. Chow Ellie Bonnie turned around, leaving Lin Yu with the back of his head. Lin Yu laughed loudly, looked up at the sky, and was lost in thought. Chow Ellie Bonnie suddenly turned her head and glanced at Lin Yu, and suddenly said, Hey, little fool, if you want me to be your crew member, do you know what price I have to pay? Before Lin Yu could speak, Chow Ellie Bonnie said first, this is an act against the world government. Haha, as a pirate, don't I have to become Marine's enemy? Lin Yu said solemnly. Akainu forced him to this point. With Lin Yu's character, how could he just let it go? 30 years in Hedong and 30 years in Hexi, I have a system, and when I grow up, it will look good. I'm not just talking about Marine. Joelle Bonnie interjected. Lin Yu was startled, and he understood the difference. If that's the case, then I can't control that much anymore. Let's fight one by one. After Lin Yu finished speaking, he turned around and said seriously, You are my companion, and I want to protect you. The two stared at each other in silence for a long time. Bonnie rolled over and lay on his back. Joelle Bonnie asked, Where are you going next? Go to New World, Lin Yu said immediately without any hesitation. Only in the new world will there be enough strong people with shining attributes. Only by constantly defeating strong enemies will he become stronger. But before that, we must collect some interest from Marine. Lin Yu stood up and said calmly. Marine base somewhere in South Blue. Arrive. A broken boat is coming this way. Akainu, this is interest. Lin Yu looked at the Marine base in front of him, with a smile on his lips. I really don't know what you are doing this for. Chow Eli Bani looked helpless. Lin Yu smiled mysteriously, because I want to become stronger. You wait here for me for 10 minutes. Lin Yu jumped up and headed straight for the Marine base. This is the Marine branch, with only one lieutenant colonel and more than 800 Marine soldiers in charge. Who? Lin Yu's sudden appearance surprised everyone. Huang Quan Lin Yu. What? It's him. Seeing the person clearly, all Marines' eyes suddenly opened wide and they exclaimed. It's really him. Enemy attack. Enemy attack. That's the Lin Yu who escaped from General Akainu. Shoot. Fire. Shoot. There was chaos in the base, and gunfire broke out one after another. In an office on the top floor, Luca froze when he heard gunshots coming from outside. At this moment, an ensign ran in from outside. Sir, Huang Quan and Lin Yu have already reached here. Lin Yu, what's going on? How dare he? When Luca heard this, he was shocked and stunned. Pirates attacking the Marine base is a normal thing in the New World. But this is South Blue, Marine's territory, and this place has been completely controlled by Marine. Even if there are pirates resisting Marine at sea, they actually dare to rush into Marine's base camp. How many are here? Lieutenant Colonel Luca asked immediately. His clenched fists were sweaty. As the commander of the Marine branch, he is not stupid. Luca has seen many ferocious pirates, but he has never seen anyone as bold as Lin Yu who directly attacks the Marine base. Since he dared to enter the tiger's den, he must have something to rely on. He didn't know what kind of helpers Lin Yu had brought to guard him. This was what made him nervous. One person is that Lin Yu. Who is that helper? Well, just one. Hearing these words, Lieutenant Colonel Luca was slightly stunned. He was a little confused. One person, acting alone. Break into the Marine base single-handedly. Madman, completely madman. Only then did Luca think that Lin Yu was the one who escaped from General Akainu. His strength had been verified and he was outrageously powerful. He suppressed the fear in his heart and said, everyone gathers together, no matter what the cost, we must kill this Huang Quan Lin Yu here. Yes, the ensign immediately took the order and rushed outside. At this moment, the hard wooden door shattered. In just a few minutes, Lin Yu had knocked down all the soldiers in the Marine base. Huang Quan Lin Yu, do you know where this place is? This is the Marine base. The Marine base, you are not allowed to be arrogant. Luca was frightened and at the same time suppressed the anger in his heart and gritted his teeth. Oh, Marine base. What is this? Lin Yu walked up to Luca with a cold face and said, I am also a pirate with a bounty of 40 million belly. Is it not in line with me to do such a thing? His identity. How about you tell me what I need to do to become a pirate? Luca clenched the long sword in his hand and struck Lin Yu with a sword. Lin Yu has no intention of giving in. Bang! Luca was stunned. His sword struck Lin Yu firmly, but it failed to hurt Lin Yu at all. Before he could react, Lin Yu's other fist had already hit him hard on the chest. Boom! This punch directly knocked the lieutenant colonel away. Ding! You defeated Luca. Strength plus 17.2, agility plus 14.1, endurance plus 13.5, constitution plus 19.3. That's it. That's too bad. Lin Yu muttered helplessly. After Lin Yu came out of the Marine base and returned to the ship, Chow Eli Bani looked at Lin Yu as if he were looking at a monster. In less than 10 minutes, Lin Yu killed a Marine base, which was incredible. Lin Yu checked his data at this time. Host, Lin Yu. Strength LV3 1234.4. Agility LV3 1247.3. Endurance LV3 1226.5. Physique LV3 1220.8. Free attribute points 1000. Skill, fighting skill LV2 60%. Shaving LV2 25.3%. Iron LV2 66.1%. Lan Jiao LV2 67.2%. Moonwalk LV2 59.6%. Paper painting LV2 64%. Fingergun LV2 67.1%. His physical attributes have reached level 3. In this case, those whose average 4-dimensional attributes are below 100 will only increase Lin Yu's attributes by a quarter. Not to mention some ordinary soldiers, the bonus for him is minimal. If you want to become stronger, you must find a stronger opponent. Moreover, the most important point is domineering. No matter how strong your physical fitness is, without domineering you can only be regarded as partial. Without Haki, he is simply not enough to face Akainu, who has the power of Logia fruit. Akainu can transform his body into elements. Unless it is attribute restraint or sea tower stone, the only way to deal with Akainu is to arm Haki. It's not like Lin Yu never thought about eating a devil fruit, but after eating the devil fruit, his weaknesses were exposed. Sea stone and sea water are the nemesis of devil fruit users, and the whole world knows this. What's more, Lin Yu has always believed that only when his body is strong can he be truly powerful. With the help of the system, he can definitely become the overlord in this world. Bonnie, do you know what kind of pirates there are in South Blue? Well, preferably big pirates, stronger ones. South Blue, big pirate. Chow Ellie. Bonnie pondered for a moment and said, "It seems that there is only Kid. The leader of the Kid Pirates has a bounty of 315 million Baileys. But now, they should have let's enter the new world. Apart from that, there are no powerful pirates in the entire South Blue." Lin Yu nodded. "I understand. In the small pool of South Blue, all the opponents he can come into contact with are too weak. If he wants to become truly powerful, he has to go to the new world. After all, as long as the pirates are strong enough, they all go to the new world, where there are many strong people." For Lin Yu, it was attributes one by one, attributes waiting for him to absorb, all of which were his. Wait for him to defeat one strong person after another, absorb their attributes, and finally reach the peak of strength. This is how a man should be. That's it. Then we can only enter New World. Lin Yu said solemnly. August 23rd. Huang Quan. Lin Yu attacked the 4th branch stronghold of the South Blue T3 branch. Lieutenant Colonel Moros was killed. August 27th. Huang Quan. Lin Yu attacked the stronghold of the 6th branch of the South Blue T3 branch. Lieutenant Colonel Lazin died in the battle. August 31st. Huang Quan. Lin Yu attacked the 3rd branch stronghold of the South Blue T3 branch. Colonel Cuba died in the battle. September 6th. Huang Quan. Lin Yu attacked the 8th branch stronghold of the South Blue T3 branch. Lieutenant Colonel Hiller died in the battle. In less than half a month, South Blue has caused uproar again and again. Huang Quan. Lin Yu launched a crazy attack on South Blue's marine base. This scene shocked the entire South Blue. The successive explosive news shocked everyone. Among the civilians, many people were panicked. There is such a crazy pirate in South Blue, and everyone feels deeply uneasy. Although at present, Lin Yu seems to only target marine and not civilian residential areas. But to the indigenous people of this world, pirates are an evil force after all. In fact, even in the original work, there are no good guys among the pirates. Most of them attack cities, kill people and steal goods. In fact, in addition to attacking the marine base, Lin Yu also attacked several large pirate groups in South Blue with relatively high bounties. So far, 5 pirate groups have been defeated by Lin Yu. Huang Quan. Lin Yu. At this time, he was already known as South Blue's supernova, and was a well-known figure throughout South Blue. According to the news in the newspaper, the reward amount for Huang Quan. Lin Yu will be increased to 100 million. The commotion Lin Yu made in South Blue naturally caused shock at Marine headquarters. Akainu was in the office. After getting the information from Lin Yu, the Marine general became furious. Hateful. Akainu stood up, paced back and forth, then walked to the secretary in his office and said to his secretary, "Who else can we mobilize?" "Lieutenant General." The secretary was stunned. "Do you want the headquarters to send a lieutenant general to deal with Lin Yu?" The lieutenant generals currently available for deployment in this headquarters include Lieutenant General Mamasagi, Gion, Lieutenant General T. Dolphin, Kagaku, Lieutenant General Flying Squirrel, Lieutenant General Ghost Spider. At this point, Akainu raised his hand and interrupted him. "Ghost Spider, it's up to him." Let Ghost Spider follow the warship through the windless zone into South Blue. Mobilize the entire Marine base of South Blue and pursue it with all your strength. Lin Yu, fight until death. Yes. The secretary saluted and was about to turn around and leave, but Akainu hesitated and said, there is a woman named Chow Ili Bani next to Lin Yu. She must be captured alive. Yes. Akainu nodded and turned to look out the window. The two big words, justice, emerged from behind the cloak and moved with the wind. South Blue, T3 Branch Marine Base. Because Lin Yu had breached several subrudders in succession, there were not many battleships left in this subrudder. Most of the battleships had been dispatched to hunt down Lin Yu. A week ago, the Marine headquarters sent a warship to come here and take over all affairs here. The Supreme Commander is a Lieutenant General from the Marine headquarters, named Ghost Spider. Lieutenant General of the headquarters is equivalent to Marine Quasi-Admiral. In the branch, even Marine Lieutenant General level figures may have similar strength to Marine Major General level figures, and some may even be worse than Marine Major Generals. Once a Major General from the Marine headquarters is sent out, he will be a Lieutenant General level figure in any branch, let alone a Lieutenant General. One can imagine the strength of this Ghost Spider. The mission of Ghost Spider this time is to pursue Lin Yu with all his strength, so he will sit in South Blue for the time being. After the mission is completed, he will return to Marine headquarters. Under normal circumstances, a powerful person like him will be sent to New World to take charge. That is the place where the most powerful force in the world is demonstrated. It is a world of strong men. In the office, Ghost Spider was sitting at his desk, flipping through the documents in his hands. For him, a Lieutenant General in the headquarters, it is too easy to deal with matters in the branch base. Besides, in his opinion, Lin Yu is not a threat. According to public information, Lin Yu is a strong physical warrior with no devil fruit ability, no elemental ability, no domineering power, and he cannot use any kind of weapon. Ghost Spider is a swordsman. It is not easy to deal with Lin Yu, who is good at close combat. He marked the locations of several strongholds that Lin Yu had attacked in the past few days on the map, and then drew a straight line. Lieutenant General, according to our judgment, Huangquan Lin Yu's direction should be towards the upside-down mountain, and it seems that this pirate's goal is also the Grand Line. The staff officer who came from Marine headquarters said, this big pirate era is really. You pirates should be hanged on warships. Ghost Spider said fiercely, the age of pirates. What Ghost Spider hates most is this era. There are constant wars and smoke at sea. This situation has been going on for more than 10 years. Since he is coming for the Grand Route, then we wait for him to come. Ghost Spider pointed at a location on the map. Judging from the map, it is the South Blue's only access to the Grand Line. That's it. Spice Island. Spice Island. This name sounds wonderful and rich. From a historical point of view, this island is indeed well deserved because it is rich in spices, so the people here live a comfortable and wealthy life, and the spices produced are spread all over the world. After the advent of the Great Pirate Age, because this was the only passage to the South Blue and the Grand Line, it was occupied by Marine and transformed into a large military base. However, the Marine T7 branch stationed here is a mess, corrupt and perverting the law. Even Marine and pirates are almost brothers, and bribery is common. Although the pirates who come here will generally abide by the rules here and will not cause trouble here, after all, this is a place where the most evil pirates often come and go, and it has become a gathering place for pirates. An entertainment street on Spice Island, with many gorgeously dressed people coming and going. Of course, most of these people are extremely evil people, that is, pirates. The favorite place for pirates to gather is a tavern. Noisy sounds echoed in the tavern, and pirates were fighting from time to time. Just then, the door suddenly opened. A man wearing only an open-breasted sailor uniform on his upper body, exposing his muscular chest, with long black hair hanging on his forehead, his hands covered with bandages, and a pair of black shorts that did not reach his knees, with ankles the feet were also covered with bandages and were bare. Behind him was a pink-haired woman. Because the tavern was full of people, Lin Yu and Bonnie did not attract any movement or attention when they walked into the tavern. After Lin Yu glanced around, he sat down on the chair. If you want to go to the Grand Line, you must have a ship, and it must be a big ship. Chow Eli Bonnie's voice came from the side. Before that, they only had one small boat, and it was a small boat without a sail. Along the way, Lin Yu actually swam in the sea and pulled the small boat forward. These conditions to enter the Grand Line are too unsatisfactory, and as a strong man, this is too low a price. And aside from the identity, there are actually various other reasons, so a big ship with sails is a must. Even though Spice Island is named after spices, the biggest industry on the island at this time is shipbuilding. This is the only place to go to the Grand Line. Pirates and traders must pass through here if they want to enter the Grand Line. If you want to go to the Grand Line, all ships need to be repaired or replaced with one that can withstand the storm of the New World ship. Naturally, the shipbuilding industry here flourished. When you arrive at the new Grand Line, you can no longer sail haphazardly like you did before. The magnetic field, weather, ocean currents, sea currents and other messy things on the Grand Line make it impossible to even determine your own position, let alone finding islands. Past navigation skills and experience are not reliable, only recorded pointers and permanent pointers can be convincing. Chow Eli Bani lamented that this was the most patient moment in her life. There are 7 magnetic lines extending from Upside Down Mountain. You can choose any route at the beginning, but no matter which island the magnetism comes from, you cannot change the route. You can only go along one island after another, until the last 7 routes are all meet at Sabayati Islands. Chow Eli Bani's words are actually common sense in this world, but after all, Lin Yu has just traveled through time. Lin Yu has watched One Piece before and is familiar with some important plots in One Piece, but as for some details in One Piece, few people remember them, including him. Lin Yu asked, "Then what will we do after we arrive at the Sabayati Islands?" The first half of the journey is over, and now comes the second half of the Great Channel, which is the New World. Chow Eli Bani said, "This sea area is the territory of the 4 emperors, and it is also the most difficult place to explore. After all, after the screening of the first half of the Grand Route, the remaining pirates are all powerful pirates, and they all gather here to sail together, which is the most dangerous place. The strongest pirates in the New World are all gathered here." Lin Yu's eyes flashed. "It would be great if I could defeat all the pirates and marines in the New World." Chow Eli Bani said in a joking tone, "Then you can become One Piece." "One Piece. Then I will become the king of pirates." Lin Yu originally wanted to say that if he could fight with the pirates in New World, his strength would improve by leaps and bounds, but now he listens after Chow Eli Bani's words. Lin Yu felt that what she said made sense. After defeating all the pirates and marines in New World, isn't he One Piece? "Hey, boy, you look good, can you lend me some?" While Lin Yu and Bani were talking, someone stepped forward and interrupted. This was originally a gathering place for pirates, so naturally some people would come here to cause trouble. A smile appeared on Chow Eli Bani's lips, and she was about to turn this unabashed guy back into a baby, but Lin Yu grabbed him. Then, Lin Yu stood up and pushed the pirate's head to the ground, making a loud noise. With a bang, the pirate's head was smashed like a watermelon, with blood, white foam, and black foam splashing everywhere. "It's getting harder and harder to control the power," Lin Yu murmured in a low voice. At this time, his power has exceeded 1,500 points. You know, that's equivalent to the power of 1,500 people. Once this kind of power is integrated into the body, it must be continuously practiced in order to accurately control it, but Lin Yu's power grows much faster than his own practice of controlling power. Under everyone's gaze, the pirate's head exploded. After a brief silence, the entire hall exploded with a bang. Chow Eli Bani felt happy. She didn't know why. Seeing Lin Yu standing on her side, she felt a sweet feeling in her heart. "How dare you provoke our hammer pirates?" "Really, the hammer pirates?" Lin Yu raised his head and grinned. "Since you said I provoked you, I won't be polite." Speaking of this, Lin Yu's eyes turned cold and stern. You are Lin Yu, Huang Quan Lin Yu." After seeing Lin Yu's face, the drunken pirate's body, which was originally a little drunk, suddenly trembled and suddenly sobered up for the most part. Huang Quan Lin Yu. In the past 2 months, he has been the most famous pirate in South Blue. Who has not seen his reward? You recognize me. It's okay. Don't be nervous. I just want to have a good chat with your captain. I like to make friends with strong people, you know. The best way for Lin Yu to improve his strength now is to defeat those masters with good strength, especially those with physical skills. The Hammer Pirates just met his requirements. Keta, the captain of the Hammer Pirates, is said to have giant blood, a bounty of up to 90 million Baileys, and is good at using a hammer weighing 1,000 kilograms. Lin Yu never thought that he would meet this pirate group before. He didn't expect that the surprise would come so suddenly and he would meet them here. This is so lucky. Lin Yu showed a smile on his lips. Boom. That was the sound of broken ribs. Huang Quan Lin Yu. The noise in the bar naturally alerted Quinta, the captain of the Hammer Pirates, and his subordinates came to report. As a result, when he arrived here, he saw that all his younger brothers were beaten to the ground by Lin Yu. You are asking for death. That Hammer Kuida really rushed over with 2 big hammers. Lin Yu made a visual inspection and found that Iron Hammer Kuida was at least 3 meters tall. His body was covered in gnarled muscles that looked like a giant bear. The hammer in his hand was also made of fine steel. The 2 hammers combined weighed at least 1,000 kilograms, but Kuida swung it lightly without any difficulty. Seeing this scene, Lin Yu not only did not panic, but was overjoyed. Only such an opponent is worthy of him and his expectations are not in vain. Facing Quaida's hammer, Lin Yu has no intention of giving in. He faced the falling hammer and hit it directly. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.